you'd escaped after the fire, went back to the tavern, had a chat, come back here. Your plan was to kind of go look at the well. You messed about trying to figure out how to get down the well at first. Got down the well, found the bottom has been collapsed in, and there's no way out from what you assume is where they've entered. And at that point, then your next choice was to think about the other place where you hadn't checked, which was the kind of burial chambers, over which is on the left-hand side. So you made it up, and you're on your way to that. So what are you guys doing? Like I said, it's about. I think I said it's about 40 feet or so away from the edge of the map.
I think
we're just going to
decide
go there then.
Go to the burial chamber.
Yeah.
Go in and see if we can find our way into the sewers from there.
Okay, cool. So the building itself isn't. You kind of walk up to it. There's a small kind of garden around it. Things like hardy plants, rose bushes, small little bushes and shrubs and stuff. And there's a bit of a pathway, but it kind of just trails off towards the house and then just kind of turns into kind of mud path, which is what you're walking along now. The building itself is only 1 story kind of high, and it's a building that's about 20 by 30 feet. It's got kind of a grey kind of stone, kind of almost column-esque design sort of thing, and then a flat plinth kind of top. And as you kind of walk up the path, you go around the muddy path and you get to 2 large kind of stone doors. Those who saw the doors in the basement, which I think you all did in the end, because I think you all went down to check. But those who went downstairs to check, very similar looking stone doors, almost as if they were made by the same people. Large stone double doors that have been carved. These ones have got kind of carving of people that are kind of dressed fancy in a kind of cravat, kind of nice kind of coat, trousers, that sort of stuff. And you've got a couple of kind of different figures there. But for the rest of the actual stonework itself, it's fairly plain around the rest of it, just the doors mostly. The doors themselves, when you get up to a big heavy handle on the doors, like a round kind of pull, and as you pull it, they're not locked, so they just open. And as you open, it opens out, and right in front of you is almost what you'd expect to see, a whole room the size of the building. So the room itself is the size of what you're seeing from the outside. So it's a 20 by 30 roughly, given the thickness of the walls. From where you walk in the door, there are stairs that go down, probably about 3 feet down. The whole room kind of sunken down about 3 feet below the floor level, and the stairs go down. And as they go, there's 2 kind of like tombs that are slightly raised up in front of you. And just over to the right-hand side, just over to the right-hand side, you can see a small wooden door, but that's the only other way out. Other than that, it is kind of just like stone, like worked stone all the way around, with these kind of 2 large kind of tombs in the middle.
So we're in the Monasteum. Am I saying that right?
Mausoleum.
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 Mausoleum, yeah.
I'm in one of those then.
Hold on. Before we go any further, I've got something to add. Before all the rat fight, I don't know if you saw me with a lady that was called Sam. Lady. I went and met her because I'd got a note to say, warning me about some issues that I'd had in the past. Sam, the woman, turned out to be a scout called Sam that worked for my company, the Bloody Roses.
Okay.
He was warning me that basically I was a lieutenant in a section of a small company of the Bloody Roses. We got wiped out down to the last man. We got ambushed. It's surprising the amount of detail you can remember in a single instance. I point to my face and the facial scars. A lance took me in the cheek. Another lance under me ribs. I think it was my own horse actually. A horse trampled me as well. And then the stabbings. I remember the stabbings.
Okay.
Anyway, we got wipes. We got absolutely wipes out. It was so quick. That happened so quick. I awoke in a pile of my own men. My own men were all dead. And I crawled away. I managed to crawl away. It's funny what the crows do to the dead. Funny what they do. You've seen me drunk. You haven't seen me as drunk as I was in the times after I left that fucking road.
Imagine.
Luckily, the first inn I hit, there was a nice sailor man there who fucking stitched me up, which was handy. He did a quite a nice job actually. And then there was a lot of bars. Unfortunately, there was a lot of fighting. I was stabbed again twice in one night. I carried on moving around. I ended up in this place called the Shadow's Turn. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but I hadn't at the time. It's supposed to be an old sailor's tale, like to fucking warn you of like they have a drink and they tell you don't go into the Shadow's Turn. It's a dark place, and when you try to go back to that inn, it's not there. It's like it never was, and it's just all these weird stories, and no one believes them. I do, because I was in there. I had picked a fight with the wrong person. A blackguard called Even Spite. It was a bit of a weird fight, really, because he just fucking talked me down. He had a weird way with his words. I don't know. But I ended up telling him everything. It was a weird thing. Telling him all about what had happened, how we got fucking smashed, how angry I was at the whole thing, and the fact that I wanted revenge on the people that did this to me and my men, and I'd do anything. And that was the you want power, he said. And I was like, of course. And then you utter those fateful 4 words, I would give anything. He took 15 years of my life. I'm 26. I look 45. But he gave me powers. He gave me the tricks, and I'd do the lightning lure on like a bush and drag the bush in. He taught me this. It was a
Dad, did you know
a weird thing. But anyway, so Sam was telling me that not only was his company and my company wiped out, that the survivors of the companies were also tracked down and killed. And that's why he came to warn me. Now, Sam didn't really know me that much. He was, as I said, a scout for another group. So he wouldn't have known. He knew of me, but he didn't know my age and stuff like that. So, and he said, I don't know how you've managed to avoid combat for this long, or their attention for this long. Well, I don't look anything like what I did before. Fucking fucked up face, an extra 20 years or so of my life added to me, so I don't look like I did. But I thought I need to let you know. I'm a hunted man, but I don't even know why or by who. but I thought I'd let you know.
Okay.
And then I still got that hooch, Brad, from the farm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I just take that out of my bag and just fucking neck it.
Yeah, glug 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 glug. Quite. It's kind of a mini bottle. It's not a huge bottle. It's like a kind of small bottle.
Anyway, should we go to this door?
Hmm.
Let's go then.
Yeah, sorry for that interruption. Okay, so what do you do with regards to what you can see?
We go looking for a hole. We're not going to disturb any of the graves here, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a walk around and see if there's anything disturbed or moved or.
You can make an investigation check. You can either make it as a group, or someone can roll with advantage, or two people can roll.
Oh,
Your choice.
roll with me.
Oh, roll. Go on.
Was it D20? Yeah.
Alright. Ah, I hope yours is better than mine.
Do we get it?
You're adding your investigation.
And that's what I'm
Investigation.
looking for now. Investigation is. So I've got 20 altogether.
I've got 8 altogether.
Oh dear.
Quandra, you seem to pick up that at first. It's not like a dusty chamber as such, but as you start kind of looking around, you start noticing, and as you look at the floor, you can see there's definitely small scrape marks, and the more you look, it definitely looks like as if there's been a shifting of clawed creatures through this direction that probably comes from the door in the corner.
Right, so I'm gonna call everyone over to where I'm standing and show them the claw marks and tell them that there's a door there, and I think that's a good place to start.
Another thing you notice is the two names on the tombs. One of them is Bernard Tormners, and one of them is Mary Tormners. And what surprises you is it's not Thomas, it's Tormners. Spelled Tormnes. That's what the two chambers have on them at the end when you walk kind of around them to the other side.
Sorry, why does it surprise us?
Because you was when his name is Thomas.
What
Levi
is it?
Thomas.
Levi? Oh, it's Levi Thomas, right? Okay, sorry.
The name that then you see as written doesn't look like as you would imagine it would. So, as I said, you can obviously see the scrapings on the floor as well. And that comes from the door, and it's only when Quandra kind of walks around and then sees the kind of names that are on the thing, and it just kind of just takes kind of like a note of it in the sense of that it's not probably what you would expect.
Ancestors, and they've just changed the spelling throughout the years.
Can I do a history check on the name? See what I heard
You
of it?
can. You can. Roll a history check.
Where are my dice?
You can't roll now. You're not prepared. Not prepared. No roll.
I found it.
Are they the edible ones?
Oh, they're not.
You are not prepared.
History. That would be.
You're gonna have to move that. You're gonna have to move that light again so that it's not directly pointed on it, because all we can see is this flashed out colour.
Yeah, come on, you amateur.
What was it? How much?
26. 26.
Can you diffuse that light, please? 26.
Alexa, light off.
Free.
Yeah, change it from YouTube influencer to YouTube newbie lighting.
Thaden voice channel.
Yeah, the Thaden Boyce channel lighting.
Oh, where'd that go?
No, you you've read a lot of books and stuff like that. You kind of noted history and different things, but you've never come across them names before. They're not names that stick out to you.
Could I do the same as well?
You could.
Is a 20 dice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And add history.
history.
I just need less shiny dice.
Hmm.
History. Where are you? 15.
Nope, you wouldn't record anything with them either.
Okay.
No mentions of them. You would imagine you would have to have some sort of closer connection or something. Unless they were notable for some very big reason. They're in a smaller town, not a major town. So you potential think that you maybe just don't know them because of that. Unless there was great deeds that you've missed. But your initial thinking is that you probably don't know them because they're from a smaller town and there isn't necessarily something notable that they've done.
Yep.
Right, so I reckon we should go through this door.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, who opens the
I can
door?
open it.
I cast fireball on the door.
Not the
You went to
wizard.
do that and nothing happened.
Not the wizard.
Leo
gonna
is not
check.
opening the door. We'll be here
Gonna-
for a while.
I'll check it for traps. Ready?
Leo's going to start casting spells at it. Just start setting on fire. You say you're checking it for traps?
Yeah, mate.
Sammy.
I'll check it for traps. Yep.
Okay, go on then.
19 plus whatever. If it's investigation, that's 26.
It's not trapped.
Do you want me to
Alright.
go in?
I'll see if it's open.
It is. You kind of, and as you start pushing it, it starts to open.
I'll open it.
You go in?
Yeah.
My camera is misbehaving again.
Yep.
Get
It's gone blurry.
go
Fine.
right down. Change video settings.
There you go.
It's focused in now.
I know it's annoying me too much because I can turn off the autofocus. Okay, so you go in, and as the door opens, there's a kind of slightly narrow staircase, about 3 foot wide staircase. Kind of goes down. It goes down about 5 feet. Kind of little kind of corridor, not really a proper corridor, into another kind of small room. As you kind of look in, you can kind of see enough of the small room, and the small room itself looks like some sort of little storeroom. And you walk down. Does anyone walk down into it? Because you're seeing it from the top of the staircase, kind of thing at the moment.
Do you want me to go down without light?
Light will be a problem for those who can't see.
Yeah.
It will be dark at this
That's
point.
what I said. Do you want me to go down without light?
I'm
I'll
just
sneak down.
AFK a sec, but I'll be back in a minute. I'll go down. I'll be second in the queue behind people.
No, I'll go down.
Okay,
I'll go down with my light on.
Okay.
But
have you still got the light on?
I'll carry on staying at the back then.
Yeah, you had the light on from
Yeah,
you,
that
didn't you?
light.
Yeah.
Got
and
that
I've-
focus.
Right,
I've
I'll
got-
just pause there a minute. I just want to sort out this camera. This camera's going to drive me nuts. So I'm just going to quickly stop my camera while he's disappeared a minute.
Yeah.
Let me quickly bring up my settings right, and see if I can turn off the thing.
Yeah, I've got Xavier here, haven't I? So
I was going to try to stealth down. That's cool. I'll stay at the back again. When does your one get to you, David?
well, I was expecting it today, to be honest, but
Oh, okay.
no, not today. Sorry, tomorrow. But I've checked the email and that, and
I hope that's done.
I'm back.
nothing.
What are you waiting for? Camera?
Hey,
Welcome back.
What camera are you waiting for?
no, new PC.
Oh. I thought that's what I meant.
Whole new PC.
Ah.
Oh, nice. What again?
A HP Omen 40. I don't know what else it is. It's a i7 1270K.
Nice. Okay.
It's got a 3070 Ti graphics card. Ti, sorry. always say
No,
tired.
don't say tired because he's Stuart is either rolling right now.
I know. I always say tie as well. I don't know why.
When
Fox
he
Machina.
first said it to me, I was like, "What the fuck's that? A
Right,
tie?
don't bring me
TIE
into it.
fighter?
Don't
What,
fucking
it's a
bring
TIE
me
fighter?
into it.
Oh, special edition one.
I've got a tie as well,
Western
David.
Digital Black.
Yeah, I've got a tie. I think we've
SSD.
all got ties, haven't we?
Yeah.
I feel
Fox
left
Machina.
out. I think I've got the oldest PC now.
Well,
I don't know what mine is, so pass.
Just say you got a tie. That'll do.
I got a tie.
So it's supposed to turn up tomorrow, but I've not seen anything to say it's coming.
All right.
So.
And you installing Guild Wars then?
Guild Wars?
Yeah.
Why would I be doing that?
Because I've just politely asked.
I've already got Guild Wars installed on my PC.
Oh, good. Log on then.
Have any of the guards come with us or anything?
No.
Or is it
No,
just us.
just us.
You just as a party.
Okay.
So Sammy's going up front, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hold on, isn't he blind?
No, I've got. A
no,
light
he's
on
still got a
me.
light on him because he had the light on him from when he went down the well. So it wouldn't have been an hour or whatever now. Probably at least half hour still left of it. So, okay, so you kind of walk down the stairs. There's a little about 8 or so stairs, and as you start entering down into it, it's merely a 10 by 10 small room. As you kind of get your feet to the bottom, you can see it's just kind of like a random, almost storage room. There's some shelving kind of on your left hand side. Over to the right hand side, you can see a very familiar break in what was the stonework wall, and then a tunnel that kind of leads down.
Mhm.
Cool.
I recast light on his hat, so he's got an hour.
Okay, cool.
I make sure my
Can-
clodhopper boots don't crush any bones that are on the floor if there's anything spilled.
No, it's a fairly empty kind of small kind of storeroom. It's not a storeroom like a proper storeroom. It's just a small space that could be stored stuff in. As I said, there's a shelf there, and there's not really much on it or anywhere around. It's a fairly empty room. So you have the opening in the wall. That's the only
Yep.
notable thing.
Well, I think that's the only place to go, really. Unless anyone wants to carry on looking around.
Brad, I'll take a peek in and see how far I can see with my vision.
You can see all the way. It pretty much goes down. It kind of slightly curves round and then just goes down in almost a straight line all the way down. And as you look down it, about 100 feet down, you can see the entrance to the well that you could see from the other side, or that Sammy could see from the other side, told you was there.
Right, okay, that's what we thought, didn't we? That this was going to go back
Yeah.
to the well.
Yeah.
And was it all caved in when we had a look at that
Yeah, the
last
bottom,
time?
the bottom of the well was.
Yeah.
The bottom of the well where it opens out, there was probably something that leads off of it. That was the bit was all caved in. The bottom of the well is almost like a little round, almost spherical type shape with a like natural spring pouring into it. That bit itself was okay, and then the actual shaft of the well went all the way up, and then you had the two broken entrances and obviously the top. So this one is the one that's the lower one down that comes all the way up to this burial chambers. So I'm sorry to say it goes nowhere.
That's just a bit mean. And you didn't sound very sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so.
Well, I can't.
I think we
I
need
I can't
to
get
go
involved.
back upstairs. There's got to be another thing because why would the rats be here?
Well, anyone
Unless they're just normal rats.
anyone got any magic for digging or anything like that? Or
Not
Uh,
today.
What I would say to you, David, given your sense of creation and direction, that sort of stuff, with this, Fenton's telling you that this corridor is about 100 feet long. You kind of have a sense that with whatever's down below, you could potentially be traveling 50 to 100 foot or something like that. So it would have to be quite a thorough job, potentially. Or maybe not, it could be like 5 feet. But given the length of the tunnels that you've seen them digging now like this, it could potentially be a long tunnel. So it's up to you if you want to kind of try that sort of thing.
Can
No,
X-
I'm
X
thinking
do
about
it?
getting past that cave in.
Can X
That's
do
what I
it?
mean. But that's what I'm saying. They do, going by this, you can see that they will dig long tunnels. So that's giving you a sense that that could be long.
Next well, Leo says.
What's that?
Next well.
Sammy, do you know the direction of the tunnel? Maybe we can work out overground where that heads.
Yeah.
And just
I'd
go.
say yes, you would realise.
Yeah.
You would realise, so from where the well currently is on the picture, I think you can also see it. So looking at the mansion, the north is the well. It goes directly south, out through the front of kind of, like where you come down and the direction you're pointing is directly south kind of thing, out towards the entrance of the manor.
Can you unpause it, Brad?
Yes, sorry.
Couldn't Quinn's spider go ahead
So you can still walk around and all that sort of stuff as well.
where the cave-in starts?
I can try. There's a small enough gap.
Cave-in was a thorough cave-in, as in fully. It's you think it's very unlikely that anything can fit through it, even air.
All right.
Will you stop putting obstacles in my way?
Well, it was more so when I was explaining before that the earth has literally kind of settled in, so it wasn't just a rock cave-in; it was a rock and earth, like a full, completely blocked off.
Okay, so they don't want us to follow this way, but Brad, I'm just trying to remember from the when we was in the sewers and that.
Mm.
Were there ways that we hadn't been?
Not quite ways you hadn't been. You could always go back and have a look, but there was. You know that when you was in the first part of the cave system, there was lots of small kind of areas that rats were running out of. So that kind of tells you there is natural caves and all that sort of stuff within there. But that's up to you whether you want to search that sort of thing.
Whether or not we could actually fit in there is another thing.
Hmm.
Why not try going south from the well and see whether we can find their tunnel entrance?
I like that idea.
Can do.
Sounds like a
You mean
nice-
like the
nice
outside of it,
proposal.
not in the well? I'm assuming.
Yeah, above
No,
above
on
ground.
Above.
Yeah.
Above.
We can maybe ask someone if there's anything in this line above ground.
Yeah, where can we see if we were
Has anyone got a map of the world that we know of?
not just of the town? So if we look directly south out, Brad, what can we see?
So if you take kind of your way around the house and step out the front, out in front of you, you can see kind of you've got the kind of almost driveway, if you like, the small road that kind of comes up. It's a bit of a almost kind of circular kind of shape outside the front, the kind of thing what carriages would put around. After that, it leads off into more like a general kind of road, which then leads off kind of directly south from you. It's not actually south if I look at it. That's actually north. It's actually flipped. The house is the other way around on the map. So this is technically north where Fenton's going now. So you.
It's right where I was in the first place by the well.
Yeah, it probably would have helped if I flipped it all around. It was just confused it. But essentially, the house is pointing the other direction, is in terms of north and south. So the well is by the south, which is the edge that's pointing towards the sea, where the cliff kind of ends up dropping off. That's where the well is at the back, and you've got about, I think I said about 60 to 80 distance from the well to the edge of the cliff. That's all kind of area, kind of gardeny type, landscapey area. Obviously, grounds of the manor kind of thing. And then when you step out.
And the caved in part was which way? Towards the house or towards the caves?
Towards the house. So effectively, what would be north.
So they dug
and it would
underneath the
go
house, yeah?
underneath the house, directly underneath the house, is where you assume the direction of it goes, unless it turns, which you wouldn't know. But looking at where the cave-in is and looking straight forwards, you're assuming that that's the direction it goes, which is a direct north, straight through the line in the
What
house.
about if we
Is there a
check the
basement in the
shed on the
house?
other side?
The basement we went through, Keith. That was the first tunnel we tried to go through.
That's right. Yeah.
'Cause I
So
know wasn't there another building on the other side?
there
There
was
is a
off.
barn on the other side, like a wooden barn.
Yeah.
But nothing seemed like it came from that direction, did it?
Not specifically, no. Not in terms of everything you've looked at.
Yeah.
You would assume that given that kind of direction, so it would be a so the burial chambers is kind of off to the direct left. The barn is kind of in line almost with the top of the very map, and then over to the right about 40 feet. There's a small wall, so the wall that you can see that comes from the front of the property goes along and then goes up, and that kind of meets where the barn is. So it's kind of like a place to kind of pull carts around. So you would imagine deliveries or something along them lines, or you don't see livestock or anything like that about. So you're not quite sure why a barn or anything else like that. But there is kind of like a small kind of dirt road that leads all the way around to it.
It could be a ruse. They could have used the barn and walked along the wall.
Yeah, there's no
as
harm,
to not
no harm looking, is there?
As to not leave any footprints, just to try and throw us off.
The majority of what you were getting though was around this kind of north area, technically the south area, which is this kind of well area. You know of that's generally where a lot of it came from. When Belgarian was upstairs, they came through the window from that direction. They came through kind of different areas on this kind of side. You know, just by some of the guards who were dead. There was a dead guard here. There was the dead guard in here. So you know that this area was kind of heavily contested, as was all the kitchen area. But this right-hand side, there wasn't many there. So that does lead you to believe that there wasn't. If you would imagine if they were coming from here, there would be more of a direct line to that side entrance, and there was only 4 or 5 that came that way. The other way would be from this left-hand side. They came around the front, as you've been told by some of the guards and stuff. There was a big fight at the front with Balasar and stuff. They was holding them off here, and then more from the kind of left-hand side as well. Those are the kind of areas that you know that they definitely came from.
Okay. So what can we see? Can we see like looking sort of directly out? Is there anything that sort of
So
stands
directly out, what is to the north? Once you get to the road kind of leads off down the hill, which is the hill that you normally kind of travel up. And then on the right and left, there are at least another 2 or 3 on each side of large houses similar to the mansion that you're in that go along that side. And you assume this is where you've got the large jutting out kind of piece of land, which you must consider is probably rock underneath for it to be kind of holding this kind of position and probably been here for a while. And then on top of that is where there's large mansions built, which you assume probably are the kind of nobles of the town, as it were, given the size of the houses and the kind of land with them. And then that kind of then leads down the road right to the very bottom. And when you get right down to the very bottom, it's where it joins kind of like a crossroad that links the 2 edge kind of east and west gates. And is normally the part where you kind of travel round.
Okay.
So the town itself has kind of got almost like a main cross through it. So the north gate is where you originally entered, and then kind of come down the main road, which takes you to that kind of main square down near the docks. But in between, there is a crossroad from east to west. And where that crossroad is, there's a small kind of, from the north road, you take a small little road and then up onto this road that leads up here. But what you would know is, I'd say you can probably work it out, Sammy, is that the well was about 140 feet down. And knowing the walking kind of distance, you don't know any kind of exact, but roughly you would imagine that when you walk down that hill, you are not walking 140 feet down. You're probably only walking about 60 feet down. It's not a steep hill that these houses are built on. It's only a gradual and then a bit more of a slope at the bottom, but it's definitely not 140 feet. which is about the distance you travelled down the well.
Okay. But that doesn't mean that they can't have.
What I mean is, it doesn't come out the bottom. It clearly goes under
Yeah.
the bottom, as it were.
Yeah. Well, no, it could either go up under the bottom or it could come up from one of.
Yeah, what I mean is, in terms of the actual height, it kind of comes in somewhere kind of right under here. This is the land, juts up a bit, but it's way down here somewhere, right under the actual town itself.
Okay.
It doesn't meet the road by any means. There's at least easy tens, if not more, of feet between the bottom road and the depth that you would have went. So your calculation is that it probably the level that you was at is below the level of the road, even when you get to its lowest point.
I'm stumped. I without some proper mining equipment and that, we can't follow him. So
Follow what lady said to the barn. Just have a look.
we
Yeah,
can
might
do,
as well.
fine, yeah.
Okay, so the barn, you kind of all walk over there. I'd say you walk out the front, so you don't all have to jump over a wall. You walk out the front, you walk along. As I said, it's about 20 feet more out to the right-hand side of where the wall goes, and then it kind of juts almost 90 degrees upwards, all the way up to the barn. When you get to the barn is kind of single-story, but has like a pitched roof. Double doors on the front, no kind of windows, no extra kind of parts to it. It's just a fairly well-made barn. You get up to the barn itself, and the big large doors, when you open the large doors, you find in there kind of what you'd expect. There's at least two carriages in there, one of them that seems more transport-y type wagon, and another one that's more fancy kind of carriage, which you kind of presume it must be Levi's. And then there's an area kind of over to the right-hand side that seems to be filled with hay. There are no animals here, but it does seem potential for kind of animals. And then over on the left-hand side, you can see there's the kind of large crates and stuff that are stored over there. And then up top, there's a small ladder on the right-hand side that leads up, and there's a small little top piece as well. Looking up there, you can't see much up there. It's a fairly, not dusty, but that kind of fibrous hay kind of just hangs in the air as you kind of walk in. It's fairly silent where you are.
Doesn't look like anything's been disturbed or anything.
You can give me investigation checks as a group or individuals if you want.
Davy's not rolling.
I'll help whoever's doing it.
We look at Candy.
Alright, I'll roll.
There is no Candy.
There's a Quandra.
Quandra.
You all look around going, there's a Candy here somewhere.
Investigation.
So roll it twice, Candy.
Well, no, Adam was going to roll, I think.
Oh, is it Adam's rolling?
I'm
is
happy to let her do advantage.
Okay,
So
then.
roll it
Yeah.
twice, yeah?
Yep, and take the back one.
So 18 plus 7, 25.
Okay, 25. So everyone else is kind of looking around, just a general overlook of what I've kind of mentioned to get a sense on what's there. The upstairs, there isn't really anything there, just a couple more kind of crates. Nothing that looks outstanding in any kind of sense. Quandra, as you're kind of noticing around, you're almost now at the point where you've seen enough of these kind of scrape marks. As you're looking around, you can find no kind of scrape marks. The ground itself, you assume, would have held some sort of footprints or something, some markings better than the stonework that you saw in the burial chambers, and there is nothing here. You're fairly sure that they had no activity here at all.
Okay.
What I would also say, how much did you get? 25.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you're searching around, over by the left-hand side where there's all the boxes, you find what looks like a floor hatch under some of the boxes.
Okay.
I'm going to relay to the guys that there's no markings, but there is a hatch under some boxes. Don't know where it goes, but we can.
Let's
always
get it
have a look.
open then.
Do you want
Yeah.
to check it first?
I can check it, yeah.
Go on, Em.
12.
You don't think there's anything, especially where it's covered up with boxes and stuff like that. It doesn't look awfully intimidating.
Does it look like the boxes have been moved before we did? Before we would have?
Not anytime recently, no.
Recently? No? Okay.
Go on, I'll try opening it.
Okay, so the boxes are kind of moved out of the way. You'll kind of help shift the boxes out of the way enough. Lift it up, and there's like a ladder going down. Kind of stonework underneath. Goes down about, you assume, about 15 feet.
I'll go down it.
Okay. You and
I'll get Xavier to come down with me. He's good at climbing down ladders.
where are you? Where's you?
I assume you made him with opposable thumbs.
Of course, of course.
Right.
He's triple
Stop
jointed
watching.
his paws.
Say that again.
I said
I'm not watching.
He's triple jointed in his paws, so he
Did you do a loading screen there, Dave?
I did, mate. I'm there. I can see things.
You can.
Now roll initiative.
So you get down and it's like a natural kind of cave way that seems to tunnel its way through. It is natural, but there seems to be some assistance to the natural kind of thing. There's some areas that have it's been slightly cleared out.
Scraped out by our scraping.
Not scrape marks,
or
no. It looks like more proper
or
tooling.
Tooling works. I
Yeah, proper
let the
tooling.
people know that, and I send Saber just ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
with his dark vision.
Has he got dark vision on him? I don't think he has, has he?
Yeah, he has 60-foot dark.
I mean, as in, can you actually click on
no.
him and see it? That's what I mean. So what is it? 60. Has that done it? No. Vision. Hold on.
Nope.
Vision. There you go. There you go.
There we go. There we go. So, but I'm
I'd
gonna make
imagine
sure. I'm gonna make sure I can actually see him now. I'm not gonna lose sight of him. So
yeah, in future I may turn it off because you don't always kind of get to see through his eyes, as it were.
Yeah.
I'll go down, but
I tell people to come down. Yeah, definitely.
I'll go down.
I'll come down last.
Oh, okay.
Let me just do
I've been watching the rear, Brad.
I don't know if that'll make you load.
That's what I've been doing. So.
Oh, sorry, mate. You can. What do you want to do?
I'll stand at the back because I can run quite quickly.
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I'll stay at the back.
So there doesn't appear to be anything. I'm gonna obviously be I'm gonna properly start checking now because we're getting. So Saber just holds
for things like traps and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm starting to check for traps now because.
Okay, give me a roll then.
Saber's.
Need Leo to go ahead.
Oh yeah, there we go. Don't know what I've
Well,
got
you're
19
Leo
plus
there,
whatever.
Yeah,
has Leo loaded issues?
26 in total, mate.
Can you give one of us control of Leo?
I can control him if needs be. You want me to move him in front?
Yeah.
I'm in front of Fenton.
In front of Fenton. There
you
go. Okay, so Sammy, you kind of checking over. You go a bit slower, kind of thing, as you're kind of checking over. Even though there is the signs of kind of natural, so the natural kind of thing is where you would imagine a rock is jutting out more, and it's been kind of carved away. So most of it is kind of fairly natural rock, but then some bits are kind of carved away to create kind of more of a passage. Yeah, creating more of a comfortable passage. No traps.
So what am I seeing ahead of me?
A wall. Brick wall.
Okay, well, I don't believe it's a brick wall. Can I check to see if it's a door or?
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
It's an illusion, mate. Walk into it.
Well, that'll be my next thing, is to just put my hand up against it.
Soylent's cave. No, is it? Is it Soylent? No, it's not, is it?
16, mate.
Yeah, from this side, it's a bit more easier to see. You can see small lines of what is a doorway directly in front of you.
Any chance I can see a handle or anything like that, or?
No, it doesn't look like there is a handle. As you kind of smooth over it and stuff, it is smooth as a wall you would expect, but you just kind of go over it. Doesn't seem to be any handle.
Push it.
Yeah, go on. I'll check it. All right. I don't think it's traps. I'll push it open, mate.
I'd say you'd already checked for traps at that point anyway.
Alright,
You was
okay,
fairly.
yeah.
You've kind of got time and all that sort of stuff. So.
Okay, so we're in some sort of. Have we made our way back over to the house? I'm thinking of map-wise. We've just come into the basement, haven't we? Again.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
You
with keen
recognise-
mind and everything like that. I'd be able to sort of recognise that we've just managed to come in.
Yeah. You're now, as you kind of get in, you open it, you see kind of more like some rooms, and you're like, okay. You put two and two together and go, okay, this comes
So
away
we've got
through.
a secret passage and a secret. Shall we go and see where it leads anyway?
Yeah, I don't think we checked through that tunnel, did we?
What, the tunnel that?
Wasn't it too narrow? Or
I know it was caved in.
No, what tunnel you went in? What tunnel?
This one in front of me, up here.
Yeah, that's the one you went in. That's the one that gets to the well. You originally went there,
okay.
and that's where Quinn sat down and the spider went down.
right? Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
So the other thing you can notice is the big doors to the left, the big stone doors, have a similar picture of what you saw on the burial chambers. And again, putting two and two together, you know that this is probably somewhere in line with that.
So we've got a couple of locked doors here, haven't we?
These big stone doors are locked.
I'll quickly run back up and shut that trap door. If I didn't
The
shut it
secret door?
before. Yeah.
The secret door you just came through, yeah, okay.
No, the trap door.
Oh, the one that the actual
Yeah,
thing, yeah. Okay.
And then I'll shut the secret door afterwards as well.
Okay, as you push the secret doors to, you notice that some of the boxes were kind of pushed out of the way. You kind of push the boxes back up, and as you do, you can see it fits so nicely. There's barely even a visible line. You're looking, so you can kind of just about make out a line, but there's barely a visible line from this side.
Okay.
Do we need to go through these doors?
You can assume that where they're locked, and Leonidas saw locked beforehand, they haven't been opened, so you assume they probably didn't come through that way. Or, for that matter, the big stone doors to the left as well. They seem to have all been shut the entire time and locked. And they do look like big, cumbersome doors. They look like defense-wise, they would defend against quite a lot.
Brad,
Just
I
by
pick up a couple of
nature,
bottles that are
maybe.
on the floor, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I put some back on the rack, and then like one for me.
You shift one into your coat.
So, shall we just go back through that tunnel and then... We don't want to let him know that we found this secret, or do we?
I think so. Yeah, he needs to block them all off.
I would imagine he knows about it. Let's just go back. Let's just go back and come out and come back around that way.
Oh, okay. I'll just shut it all up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, you don't want to advertise to other people about it, do you? If you know, we can tell him.
Considering
on the
that
quiet.
secret door, there might be another one that he's not told us about. We could ask.
Yeah. So let's.
Can I have a look at these bottles?
I think we need to talk to Levi and ask how many.
Brad, can I have a look at the bottles?
What
Just
do you want to look at them specifically?
just
You kind of
to see if I can see a fake one.
You would imagine it'd take you quite a while. You're talking a couple of hundred bottles down here.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
There's not one with no label or something.
there's definitely one less. No, there's no obvious like a cartoon background, foreground type thing where you can see one. There is nothing like that as such. You'd have to take a while to actually search through them.
Brad, how
At the same time,
big is this rubble in front of me?
hold on, let me click on the book. How big is it? What do you
Yeah.
mean? How high?
Yeah, I'll start moving some things and see whether it's like pretty like hard to kind of get a space in it, or is it just it seems to go back for ages?
No, it's fairly kind of it's looking over it. You're assuming that what's happened is this has been kind of carved out, and whatever was carved out was thrown back down the well. Just in terms of the Sammy kind of when he went down and stuff like that, telling you the rubble and stuff like this. He didn't specifically look for that, but that seems to be the only place it would have gone. The rubble that now is in front of you is more some of the broken kind of stonework, of which there's only kind of smaller pieces of about the size of a large brick kind of thing. It doesn't really mount up to any high position. The actual opening itself is about an 8 by 8 foot kind of almost circular kind of opening right down to the floor.
I'd peer
But
through
what
the
you
gap
can,
and say hello to Balasar.
yeah, he's not there now.
All right, I'll leave it and follow the
Leo
others.
says again, next well. And then points.
Take us to the well, Leo, because I don't
Yeah.
know where the other well is.
Show us the way.
Are you going back up to the upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just activate so you'll pop back up there.
And I'll shut the door as I come out as well.
And then going back through where you came, kind of thing, up the barn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't want to advertise the fact that we've found a secret.
So that's
No,
that's the other way round, isn't it? So the well goes under the house. That's the direction where the rubble was, yeah, Brad?
Yeah, so the rubble kind of goes. You can almost look at it from the two back doors that you've got. You've got like two back doors.
Mm.
That is almost not just by coincidence. Like directly upstairs is about where them two doors are. It kind of goes forwards and then juts around into the well. It's pretty much close to what that is. So where these doors are, then goes up around the corner to here. It's a similar kind of shape as that.
So the direction of that rubble where at the bottom of the well was going north.
The very bottom of the well. So the actual room itself down the bottom was about a 20-foot kind of radius. So it's about this kind of big. If you can see my cursor on the map. It's about this big.
Can't see anything, but yeah.
If David can look over it, look over north, David. So going by Sam, it's about this big underneath, and then the entrance kind of part he saw was here, going this way.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna go that way, down,
straight down, which is
and
north.
To try to find the next well.
Okay, so when you make it, like if you make your way out the front here, and this is where you've got that kind of circular kind of turning area for chariots, for whatever they're called. And then it turns into a road kind of somewhere down about here and just goes straight down. And the road kind of is a fairly straight road that goes down the hill. So there is no way, if you look at the direct line of where you're kind of tracing that line, all of you, and that line pretty much follows underneath the road once you get out the front of the house.
Cool. So yeah, I keep going down until we come across some sort of water feature, or so it could be a well, it could be a.
How far are you going to go? Just keep going in a straight line.
Yeah, just keeping an eye out. See if I can spot it, Brad. See if I can spot the next well. Going north, south.
Look, and
north.
Sort of paying attention to the other houses and seeing if they've got any like wells that are visible as we go past, things like that. Might not be a direct sort of.
Yeah, it might peel up and we go, oh, look, there's a well there.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be directly north. Directly north.
You notice as you start to walk down the road, you walk down, and within about the first 30 feet or so, you can roughly see at least 4 of the other buildings, and 4 of those other buildings have got wells that you can see somewhere on the property, kind of outside, kind of over towards the back, but still within vision, or some nearer to the front.
They have their own individual 4 wells, Brad, or is there like small
They all
well?
individually-
Oh,
they all
excellent.
have wells.
Excellent. I'll go to the first one then.
Okay.
Well,
Open it
well,
up.
well,
Mhm.
Yeah.
well.
Okay. You look down and you can see the same kind of round sort of sides, but then it just pops down into darkness again.
Has it got a bucket on it?
It does.
I do Leo's little trick. Takes off his
It's pretty
hat.
much similar to what you saw before. As in, you look all the way down. It's just a round brick kind of stonework that goes all the way down. Again, probably down to a similar distance of about 140, and then at the bottom you can see the water.
Excellent.
At this distance, you can't see whether there is like an actual chamber at the bottom because you're looking at such a steep angle down. All you can see is water at the bottom. You can't really see kind of out, as it were. So potentially it could have a similar round thing at
I
the
don't
bottom.
mind getting in the bucket
You'd have
again and
to go
going
down.
down and see if I can
Oh.
see anything.
Is that little spider thing there, Brad?
But that's Quid's little spider. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's still got it.
Can
Nice.
I pick it up? Can I pick it up?
It's not out. It's not technically out.
Where is it?
It's just
Have you vanished it?
yeah. It's not.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Not
So it's
here.
not out. Okay.
No, but you know I have it as
So it's 140 foot, is it, Brad?
Well, roughly. You don't know for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So
Definitely
what
far-
we,
deep far down again.
I start getting that big long rope out again,
Okay.
and then pointing at Sammy. Was it Sammy that went down there last time?
Yeah.
You have 100. You have 100 feet of rope plus the 50 foot of rope you got from. So someone would have to be carrying that rope. Someone would have to add that to their character sheet if you've taken that rope.
I've got
Fenton?
my rope.
Yeah, I can carry
Yeah,
it.
you've got yours and Fenton's got one. So I think you've two. They're the two that makes 100.
Brad, without even saying anything, I'll start setting up like we did with the other well, so they can see what
So
I'm trying to do.
If someone wants to add 50 extra feet of rope to their character sheet, then you've got a rope with you.
what have I done?
Yeah,
I have no idea what
I'll
you've
add it.
done.
I'll add it.
Okay, cool.
What have you done?
What have you done? Oh,
There's
what
two
have you?
of
How have you done that?
I just dragged it and it just didn't move and it just made another one.
You're not a GM. What's going on here?
Oh no, I'm still
What are you
downstairs, Brad.
hacking?
There
Can you
we
bring me
go.
back up on the map, Brad?
You are on the map.
I'm
You're
downstairs.
here,
The
and you're
other
technically in both
room.
places.
Let me say refresh.
Yeah, because you are like when I put activate, it activates all of you to move at that point.
Cool.
So if you don't move, then it's an issue with you individually.
Brad, I'll start setting up for.
Similar to before. You don't have a table, but this time
We're
there's a
holding
closer tree.
Bulgarian, isn't it? Bulgarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'll start tying him up.
Yeah, just
Put my thumb up like that.
that.
Oh, okay. I'm going. Guess I'm going down.
And then yeah.
Sammy, do you need torches? I've got a few that I don't need anymore.
No, not all the time that Leo can throw a light on my head. It
Right,
doesn't cost me
I'll
anything,
start
does it?
placing the
So-
torches just by the well.
What, to leave them there or?
Yeah, I don't need them.
I'll
Okay,
take them. I'll take them.
Right, there's 5.
I'll take one. Why do you have so many torches?
Well, because I needed
They
to be able
burn
to
out
see.
after an hour. They burn out after an hour.
I will take them all.
I don't need a torch to see anymore.
Dirty. Say what?
Holy soul.
I've got some
Holy
new
soul.
eyes. I have a look down the well, by the way, Brad. I can't see to the bottom because you said it was 140.
Yeah, you can't see to the bottom.
I just want to see
You
if
can
there's
see
any
like, far
tunnels
down.
off the sides or anything like that.
You don't think there is. Also, looking at the side, you can't see any kind of weird scrape marks and things like that that you saw in the other one.
All right, I'll let them know that I can't see all the way to the bottom, but as far as I can see, there doesn't appear to be any scratches and stuff. Do you think we should check the other wells before we do that? Just like see whether we can find a well that's got the scratches and then do that one.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, no.
I'm still getting Bulgarian ready.
Oh.
No.
We can have a
Yeah,
look
just-
around.
It's like Mission Impossible if you tied him up, so like dangling him like an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm pushing him forward, Brad.
Before he's even gone down, just hanging him like
Yeah. Leo, is that a sex swing you've made?
Yeah.
If the four wells are in close proximity, I'm just going to go and have a look.
that. Okay. Yep.
I'll go with him.
Okay. You check the other wells, the three others that you can see, and each of those. One of them, there's as you're up here, you notice on the left-hand side there's 2 extra manas. On the right-hand side there's 3 extra manas. One of the wells kind of services the 2 N ones on the right-hand side from where you're standing. So there is probably only 4 wells up, kind of the entirety of this road. These 4 extra wells. You check the extra 3, and again, looking down them, you don't see kind of anything, any signs, no scratching, no kind of broken hole in mark sort of things. They're all fairly similar construction, as if they was all made at a similar time.
As we're going past the wells and obviously the houses, I suppose as well.
Yeah.
Do we see signs of life and stuff, or just in case they were attacked at the same time?
No, as you get to the second one on the right, as you kind of walk kind of slightly further back past the side of the house, and as you kind of walk over, you look in the window and you see the old lady that was upstairs, who was originally not doing very well with her drink. She seems to be inside the house. She looks out and goes,
I'll give her a little cheery wink. Okay,
Right,
all
I'll
right,
wait for the others to return before I prod.
What was that?
Or I wait for the others to return before I prod Bulgarian to going down.
We throw him in. Before you throw him in.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, you've checked them, Fenton, and there's no obvious signs that you would expect of what you saw from the original well.
All right, I'll come back and carry on, Leo.
So if everyone could hold the. Well, I'll pass everyone a bit of the rope anyway, so they can hold and help. I cast guidance on Bulgarian as well.
Leo,
Okay.
do you want me to Sparta him?
Yeah.
But he's a tricksy monk. He'll probably fucking catch me and throw me in himself.
He laughs. This is Sparta.
I have elf ears, by the way. I can hear you.
Didn't say anything. It was Sammy.
Sally. Keith, are you willing to go down? Because obviously Leo's
I'll
not
go down.
actually saying anything to you. He's just wrapping you up and getting you prepared to go down, mate.
Yeah, I go down.
All right, okay, cool. All right. We start hoisting him down then, Brad.
Probably want a light steer anyway, so.
Okay, so as you are lowered down, Bulgarian, you're not as great with the sense of distance, but you know you go a long way down. You get down to what you start to assume is the bottom. As you kind of get down, you can see the water. Again, you see where it starts to open out into a similar kind of round, almost kind of spherical kind of room. You get to the water. How tall are you?
That's a good question.
Have a look on the old character sheet.
Yeah.
How tall am I actually?
How tall am I?
5'10".
You can see that the water's definitely far deeper than you. So are you going to go in and swim, or are you going to just what are you going to do? The rope's kind of carrying them down.
Is it right at the end now, the rope?
No, there's still more rope. They're still feeding you down into it. Your feet touch the water.
I shout, stop. I shout out to stop.
Stop.
Can I see both ways now?
Yeah, so it is a round room. Do you stop at the top? Do
Yeah.
you stop?
Yeah, we stop. Yeah.
No, we just let it go, mate.
Dip him in. We dunk him under, then we pull him up again.
Okay, so they stop and you're kind of shins deep in the water now, and as you look, you can see, you look around the room, and as you look around, there is again another thing of similar to what Sammy told you. There is an entrance that then seems to have been all caved in. Very similar. Yep.
I shout out. This is caved in as well.
So this is the first house on your left, and by the time they pull you out of the top, you look at a direction, and it goes back towards where the road is. From where you look at where the kind of cave in kind of to go, it goes off back towards the roadside.
Okay.
You don't have any specifics on it goes slightly here, slightly there. It goes back towards that roadway.
Okay, Brad. Is it so when he goes down and there's a big opening thing? There's one of the sides is blocked off with rubble. How about the other side?
It's just a round, almost natural-esque kind of chamber with like another kind of spring of water kind of pouring into it, and there's only the kind of one entrance off of it, or at least you assume so because that's the part that seems to have been collapsed in. All the rest of it is kind of natural rock.
How did they get from here to the? If it goes the opposite way to the manor house to Levi's, how did they get to Levi's through here?
Unless there's specific ones that they've closed, and they've got a specific route that they've taken. If you see what I'm saying, so certain ones they've blocked off.
We need to try and get the blueprints of the sewer system.
This is being blocked off by the last one from Levi's. So then the next one should be open.
No, but what we would expect to find would be 2 tunnels and both of them blocked off. One that leads to Levi's and one that leads to the next well. But that's not the case.
No.
Yeah, Bulgarian, as I said, you can't totally tell directions, but you know this definitely doesn't point off towards Levi's one.
All right.
That much you can.
Okay.
Next well, Bulgarian.
Yeah, go for it.
We don't bother underlining it, we just lead him on.
The next one on the left, or go over to the other side of the road? The first one on the right. What's the pattern you want to go in?
Go over the road. We want to stay on this side of the road and go to what looks like the next one to...
Okay, next one down on this side of the road.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, all the same sort of stuff. You go down, when you get to the bottom, this time you're kind of almost more looking at direction. This one seems to slightly go back on itself again towards the kind of direction of the road. Not directly back towards Levi's, but somewhere into almost where that road kind of area is. Make a wisdom check for me, Keith.
Mr. Wisdom. No.
Oh no, shit.
What is that?
What is it?
5.
5.
No, you can't. You're not really getting much of a sense on kind of where they're going. You, as I said, you kind of roughly get a sense it's going back towards the road, but no proper directions as to where. What next?
Drag Bulgarian to the next well.
I was about to say, that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Might as well.
I'm definitely thinking up names for your group now.
I'm still holding the road, Brad. Come on, off the road.
Just pull him across like this. Come, Bulgarian.
Don't even bother untying him this time.
Okay, so this time you have to cross over to the other side of the road. Again, going down, all the same sort of stuff, same make. You get to the bottom again, it kind of opens out. This one isn't quite the same. You can tell by the caves now that you've been in a few. The caves are not exactly the same. They're not like made to specific sizes. They just seem to be naturally about this size with like a spring kind of coming into them. You imagine somewhere, some sort of flow of water, some sort of more natural flow of water seems to run through this kind of area, and it keeps seeming to pour out into these small kind of chambers. This one, again, as you get to the bottom, you can see there is another caved in bit. This one points back at the road again. So you've gone across the road. You've gone to the road that goes down the hill. You've gone across it to the houses. And this one, what you've come at, goes kind of back into the road again.
Are we walking towards the sewer area that we was first at, Brad?
You're
We're
nowhere
going
near
that
that.
direction. Nowhere near it.
You're
Okay.
nowhere near it. Yeah, you're right on the other side of the town almost.
Okay.
If you take the centre of town, that was kind of slightly outside middle of the very south of the town. You're kind of up here, kind of again a similar distance from the middle of the town, but over towards the left. So fairly fair. Oh, thank you. So I'm guessing you're going to check the last one as well. The last one, you go down. Again, very similar, but this one seems to kind of slightly jut back. What I'm going to ask is for all of you to make wisdom checks as a group.
Oh no.
Well, we are not very wise.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom on its own.
19.
Wisdom, yeah, plus your wisdom.
The worst thing I can roll in my whole character sheet.
Oh, 19.
Not for me.
Where's my dice?
19. Minus 1.
You don't know what the DC is.
Oh,
Oh, it's in my dice tray.
19, 18. Have you lost your dice again? You just had them a minute ago.
That's
Are
11.
you
I
eating them?
rolled. 11 I rolled.
Are
That'd
you-
be a 10. That'd be a 10.
Are you eating them? Is that what you're doing? That way you keep
It was
losing
in
your
my
dice.
dice tray, and I didn't know.
So we've got what's that? 19, a 10, a 17.
18.
What's that? 18.
Yeah, it's a 19 and I get minus 1 for wisdom, so.
So 19, 18, 10. What about the other three?
Does that mean you don't need a low roll then? To
No.
make it good.
No, as in I need to know your low roll, as in they don't want the low roll.
No, no,
But I
I
need
plead
to know
the
it.
fifth.
The fifth doesn't work in this realm.
Oh,
Okay, I rolled 3.
Oh,
There's
God.
no Luminor in there's no America in Luminor.
there's no
What'd you get, Stu?
constitution
We're
in
like a bunch of monks.
4.
And Quinn,
I rolled 10.
you got 10. Who am I missing? I'm missing one. Leo.
that's a bit me. I'm not going to do that. Okay. 9.
9.
Yep.
And you're adding your wisdom, yeah?
Yep.
You're not quite sure as to where, but you know they all lead. Between you and discussing as you're kind of going up and down the different wells, Rio style, you kind of talk about as you're walking across the road and all kind of pointing almost like you're surveyors or something. And eventually you kind of get a gist that somewhere underneath you they all converge. That's what it feels like. But they must converge somewhere in between these 4 wells where there isn't anything that you see that goes down.
Sammy can underscore dig.
Is there a central sort of house, Brad?
No, this is the road. So where they all kind of converge to is just a roadway. There's no building, there's no nothing there. The roadway itself is about 10, 12 feet wide. And then each of the houses themselves have at least like 10 to 20 feet worth of garden beyond the road. So you're in kind of a fairly wide open area when you're standing in the middle of the road. So there is no obvious building. And the wells themselves.
Manhole cover in the middle of the road either.
Yeah, there's no. You look around and you can see if they converge under you, and there's nothing here where you are. Even if you look around and you look around and think, okay, if they're here, no. Everywhere you're looking, where the wells come out, they're near their kind of respective manor houses, sort of thing. But as soon as they come away, they're into an open area. There's nothing there.
Levi or know about any of this? Do you reckon?
You could ask him. He did mention that the wells and the cave system that are down there, it's not just a sewer system, it's also a cave system. He did mention that they're very old and there's only so many people that have ever known their way around them.
I feel like we're the losers club looking for it. Or these
We
wells
most
or these
certainly
sewers.
look like surveyors. Fenton surveyors.
Just need the red balloon now.
Should we go and ask Levi if he knows anyone?
You should definitely
Can do.
report back. I think tell him what we found, or what we've not found.
Yeah, we need to tell him to fix all the tunnels so he doesn't get attacked again.
That as well.
All the tunnels. The one. Oh, I guess there's 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
He'll probably know of the 2 that come from the well itself. Because Belisar went down there. He did like a check. You got to assume that the guards themselves have been over checking the house and stuff.
I can't get the Scooby Doo song out of my head.
What?
It's just because I just like with the dog we've got now. I just can't get it out of my head. I really just can't. It's really annoying me now.
Well,
So what, are you
Me,
Velma
I'm Velma.
then, are you, Adam?
no.
Does that make Sammy Shaggy?
Definitely. Like, when he went down the ladder, I just pictured him like the dog jumping into his arms. Like, since then, I just can't get it out of my head.
It's so good. I don't even. There you go. You're the Scooby Doo gang.
That makes me
Where
Fred,
are
doesn't
you?
it?
You are the Scooby Doo gang. I think it does, Stu. The Scooby Doo gang.
Who's
We were
Scruffy?
looking for a name.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what's the plan? Going back to Levi?
Guess so.
Okay, what do you say? You go back, you find him in the house. He's wandering around. Actually, he's still. Sorry. He's still in the. Because it hasn't been that long, it's only been about half hour to an hour that you've all been dawdling about, surveying the land. He's still talking to Belisar in the kind of entrance hall.
Thirsty work, this.
It seems I've been seeing you walk backwards and forth. Anything useful from walking around?
No.
I don't walk into his house because I'm dripping wet.
Yeah, after being dunked many times.
Is there,
You could probably wait in the doorway.
is there a piece of paper that I could write on? That
Remember, you
I
can't
go
write.
to. I go to Levi's. I kind of not write.
You can't write either. Same as your language thing.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll stay out of it
Draw us a
because I know
picture.
I know what I would want to do.
Mime.
I can't just walk off.
Can't he tell?
You can speak to Quinn.
No, Leo does not telepathically speak to Quinn at all.
Okay.
Draw us a
You can
picture.
play charades.
No, I can't. I can't draw a right. So carry on.
Yeah, ask about the like I said, I'm not walking in, but ask about the if they know anyone that knows about this sewage system and wells and the underground tunnels.
Are you like whispering from the doorway?
No, I said before you lot go in. That's what I said. Ask.
I'm drying him off.
Having you
Brad.
back, having you back as you walk and he's going quick. Oh,
I'm gonna dry him off.
Hello, Levi. Sammy's going to give you an update on what we've been doing. Is the alesmith still about? And I walk in and
No, he's
open the
gone.
door and go through. If no, I kind of stop and see if anyone comes after me, and if no one does, I'm going to carry on into the kitchen and see
Yeah.
whether I
I'm
can
There you
going to
go.
supervise him.
No one seems to be there to. No one seems to be there as such to stop you. There is a royal guard standing by the door,
Oh yeah.
and there are guards on the outside, but you haven't seen anyone else inside other than that royal guard and
Right.
Balasar.
I did.
Come on, Quinn. Let's get some grub.
As you walk in, there is the cook in the kitchen. He looks at you.
Excellent. Is dinner ready?
The party's already finished.
Oh, I'm sure there's leftovers.
Well, back out that way.
I'm sure there's leftovers, man.
They've all been thrown out now. Sorry. Come on, off with you. I'm busy.
Just one beer, just one ale.
Oh, take a bottle before you go.
Thank you.
Go quickly.
I'll go grab some ales. In here, Quinn.
Oh, okay.
She says, no, no, no. By the door, by the door.
I feel like I'm being led astray.
You seem to be. By the door, she points. Over there, by the door as you walk out. Take a bottle quickly. I'll change my mind.
Right, I look sheepish, say thank you very much, bow and scrape, and then leave. Come on, Quinn, quick, quick.
Oh, okay, quick, okay.
Oh god.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be mood to be trifled with. You remember now originally with Leo coming back in out of that door you're coming out of the first time you ever walked in here when he went looking for a toilet. You come out of a rolling and chasing him.
It's not very friendly.
Levi, do you know anyone that knows like what's an underground architect? One of those people that does the wells. We're looking to see if we can. We've been to examine the wells in the area around by the houses, and it seems that the rats have been tunneling, but they seem to be tunneling into something that's in the middle of the wells, which doesn't make sense. So we just wondered if you knew of something that.
I don't know of anyone specifically whose job it is to go down there. No, there must be some people who probably go down there, but whether they know all of it, I know that there is a fairly extensive system of natural caves and sewers down there. So the chances of finding someone who knows it all isn't going to be good, I would imagine. There is no official kind of job of the town or anything to do much with them. They were built a very long time ago to a high standard where they generally don't get that blocked up and generally don't require an awful lot of maintenance. So there isn't anyone we hire as a town to do much with it or anything like that. So if there is anyone who goes down there, good luck on finding them. It's not a branch that I could point you to.
Where they roughly converge, is it just open ground, like in between the houses or the middle of the road or something?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. The road is about 12 feet across, and then you've got about 10 to 20 feet to the houses. So you're looking at about 30 to 40 feet across from manor to manor. And
I was
if you
just
look
wondering
kind of
whether there was
down-
like a something that had been maybe knocked down or something that used to be roughly in the centre that's not there anymore. But if it's all just the middle of the road, then
No, it does. There's nothing that would have any signs of it. It's a well-trodden road now.
Right.
So if there was, there'd be no signs of it.
I'm looking out the door to the others. What am I supposed to ask next? Oh, you're
Yeah,
you're all really helpful.
Well,
Well, anyway, thank you, Levi. I'm sure one of them will come in a minute and think of something. But yeah, thank you very much.
I'm going to go to the library, Brad.
Okay.
Cool.
You're just going to trot off on your own. Levi just starts. I mean, Leo just starts storming off somewhere.
Oh dear.
Where you going, Birdie?
Doesn't
This
seem
way.
to respond.
This way.
Well,
Point him.
there you go.
Right, I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll go with Leo as well. Library sounds like a good idea.
Did we tell Levi about the trapdoor?
It wasn't mentioned to him, no.
All right, I'm gonna say to him, like, obviously, and not obviously, I'm gonna let him know what we found. Just to
Okay.
keep unaware when we're only can sort of hear, so we're not overheard.
He says, Jude, that's an old secret escape hatch. Seems to be not as secret as I was hoping, but maybe you just got lucky.
Yeah,
We're just that good.
we were lucky. We found it. Yeah, it's one of those things. I just wanted to mention it just in case you weren't aware of it.
We Scooby Doo
It's
that
more, I
shit.
guess. It's more, I guess, if it's more, I guess, if the house gets taken over or there's a fire or it's an extra escape route. There's plenty of doors out of the place. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. All right.
Brad, would Leo know if there was a sort of town hall or a mayor type thing
In
area?
the town?
Yeah.
There isn't really. No, that does kind of almost strike you as odd because there are in other towns. This town does not have a said
Isn't
type town
Levi the
hall.
kind of mayor?
Yeah.
He is the kind of mayor, but there is no public building of
No.
town hall, that sort of thing. But Levi is kind of like a chief noble, if you like. A head noble is what you get in terms of the sense of who's running the town.
Okay. So there's no sort of. Okay. Yeah, I'll go to the library then, Brad.
Say again?
I'm going to go towards the library.
Yep, okay. So everyone's following now, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the library you went to before. You get there, and there's the little old, kind of very gruff lady sitting behind the counter. She looks up as you walk in and goes, too many.
I'll stay outside.
I look at who is it? Condra.
Yes.
And come.
Okay. Is it okay two of us come in, madam?
Two of you can go in, yes. We must keep the rooks protected. Can't have all sorts of people walking in and out of here.
No, completely understand. Thank
Is
you very
that
much.
bitch giving Jib
That'll be
again?
3 gold, please. 3 gold, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Each, Brad.
Between you or one of you.
Okay. I'll pay. Okay, so minus 3 gold.
Thank you very much.
There you go. What I'm looking for, Brad, if there's a section about this actual town and the history, books, archives, anything like that.
History of the town itself.
Yeah.
It's going to be an investigation check, unless there's some other way you want to tell me how you can do it. To be able to go through the books and actually try and find something meaningful.
Sure.
Do I need to
Okay.
roll as well?
I'm
individual as advantage. It's up to you.
it can't really be Quandra doing it because I can't tell her what I'm looking for.
Okay, you go ahead then.
So if she could she help me, Brad?
She can't really help you if you're not able to properly discuss with her. No.
Is there a section where I can? Is it labelled? Is there a section I could read? Any sort of where it says anything? I don't know.
I'll say if Quandra can make a DC 10 check of insight, then she can gather what you're trying to say enough to help you get an advantage.
Okay, you'll have to explain that to me. Sorry.
So you have to roll an insight check and get above 10.
Right. So that's a 20 and whatever my insight is, yes?
Correct.
Yeah. If you get to 10, you can give him advantage.
Right, what's my insight?
Because you get a sense on what he's trying to do. From Leo's lots of flapping and fapping.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
14.
Okay, you can roll advantage, Chris.
Okay. And what did you say it was? Investigation?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Is my camera on? This is going to be good. I didn't prepare the right spells today. I didn't know I was going to the library.
Good luck.
Oh well. Give it a go. Come on. Natural 20. Oh, yeah.
What is that total?
20.
20.
I got 0, mate. Yeah, natural
Bloody
20.
hell.
Natural 20 and an 18 on my Leo dice. So I'm happy about that.
Very good.
Even if I don't find anything.
Is anyone else doing anything else in this time? Because this is probably going to take quite a while. Probably at least an hour or maybe 2.
Food and beer.
Do some lunch.
You got to disappear off for some lunch. For somewhere
Yeah.
new or back to the Wyvern Inn?
I'm going back to the inn, Brad. I'm going to start looking at some of that stuff that I picked up. When I say some of that
Okay.
stuff, I'm going to start trying to puzzle out the.
Yep.
And I say to the guys, when you're ready, guys, just come and get me.
I'll stay with Fenton. If
Yeah,
he
that's cool.
chooses.
We're going for something to eat. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
Okay.
just the Wyvern Inn. That's fine.
All right.
Okay, so Leo, you and Conjure kind of going through. Conjure seems to be handing you somewhat at first of completely irrelevant books, but eventually starts to be handing you some sort of in the realm of what you're looking for. As you're going through, you manage to find that the town itself is a fairly old town, at least a few hundred years from what you can tell. The town itself originally would have been very small on the water side, and this top sticking out jutty bit would have just been like a shadow above the town. Kind of the town would have been a small town, and the town has since kind of grown and grown and grown. You also get the sense of lots of different books you look at. There's mentions of the caves underneath multiple times, and there's mentions of the kind of newly to be built sewer system, and then some other things that talk about the sewer system, but there's not a lot that gives you any kind of proper details. More of like almost like news clippings of this is happening and that's happening and this happened and all that sort of stuff. Is there anything specific that you was trying to get?
Any sort of images of entrances that I can sort of make out, or proposed plans? I don't know, some sort of more so
Yeah,
like diagrams or
say-
drawings.
With a 20, you don't find any kind of actual diagrams, but what you do find is more so written stuff that mentions the caves and the sewer systems kind of cover much of the city itself. The wells themselves are considered kind of like overflows for storms. You get one or two accounts of where there's been really rough seas and the water's just kind of battered the town, and the sewer's kind of done its job. The wells essentially have, like, it's not just the wells, there's small little drains in places as well, and there's a lot of talk in different books at times on the successful kind of moving away large amounts of water very well by this system. And even though there's no pictures, you pick up that roll D4 for me, Chris.
Yep. 1, Brad.
Okay, you come across the thing that talks about the place where you already went, the cave system that seems to be largely a runoff from where a lot of the water gets kind of pushed out onto the kind of beach sides, out of them caves that you were coming through. So the caves that you already went into, you remember, was kind of somewhat of a natural cave, but eventually met up to the point of that kind of large room you was in, which was a kind of bricked room, but seemed to divert from multiple kind of different pipes, water off into that kind of cave system, which you imagine then is just the natural way it kind of flows out. And as you remember walking through that cave system, you was kind of, for a large part, you was following like a small river that is that water that kind of flows out naturally from the many areas it would be seeping from the land kind of thing and from overland. The only other bit you pick up is that there's also some sort of entrance or exit where water seems to escape that is under the dock area, but underwater. That's the only other kind of mention of any kind of proper exit. Those two are the main kind of exits, it seems.
Under the dock area, underwater, yeah?
Yeah, the dock area kind of in about the area where there's a widening and it goes from the square to the docks themselves. There's a wide area that Belgarian and Sammy originally came walking through. Somewhere around about that area of the docks, underneath the water, is where it talks of a pipe, a large pipe that exits water from there as well, that feeds into the kind of ocean.
And can I point this out to Quandra every time I find something as I'm
Yeah.
doing it?
Yeah, she's
So
still
she's
looking
sort
quite confused, but trying to follow along.
But she understands what I'm trying to do, yeah?
Yeah. She
So
gets
I'm
the
pointing these
sense,
things out.
the information you're finding out. Yes.
Okay. So she would understand that under the dock area, underwater.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. As you're finding these kind of passages and stuff like that, you're pointing them out. And Condra's kind of looking over your shoulder almost and getting the gist of where you're going and kind of watching you're finding. So that kind of takes you about an hour and a half or so.
Right. When we at a dock area, does the tide does it go out?
It never goes out to a point where the water goes down. It comes in from a sea, and even though there's a small tide on the kind of beach side, it's not enough that the actual docks go down. Not any real amount. Not that you would imagine. In the time that you've been here and look, when you remember back to the boats themselves, if it had gone out, you would imagine maybe the boats would bottom out in some way. So you kind of think there must be some proper drop off from that part, and it won't dip down very low.
How long would it take us to get to that part from here now?
Not long.
Like to get
about 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. Probably less than that, actually. Probably about 10 minutes. It's not very far. You're kind of not very far from the inn, and then it's not very far from the inn further than that.
I think we got the information we want. Okay, we'll go back. So hopefully Quandra can explain to the party what we found out. So we'll make our way back to the inn.
Yep.
You find most of them in the inn. What are you going to tell them? They're munching.
So I relay everything that Leo was showing me, like the sewers underwater. And all the
Okay, so
information
same
that-
thing.
So, yeah, I'm just giving the information that he gave to us and said I think that Leo wants to go to the dock.
Okay.
I'll just nod.
So, bye. What are you doing?
Nom, nom, nom,
Hello?
nom, nom.
All nomming.
Yeah. All right. Come on in.
Do this.
Where? Down to the docks?
Yeah, Leo's off, mate. He's on a mission. Like he's
Just
really on a
follow-
mission.
Just follow
Yeah.
him. Oh, hold on. We've got to get Sammy. He's upstairs.
I'll
I
stop.
run up and get Sammy.
Okay. Sammy, you coming?
You're muted if
Sammy,
you're
you-
He
talking.
has died.
Yeah, I'll pack my stuff away.
Sammy's falling asleep.
Brad, I'll go to the point where we first met Sammy and Bulgarian. To that point.
Yep.
Is Fenton's boat close to it?
No, it's a bit further down than that.
Okay.
This is nearer where the larger ships were. The Stormbreaker hit kind of what would be, as you get to this from the square facing out towards the south, towards the sea. As you get there, the buildings are on either side, and then there's about a 20-foot kind of almost corridor between the buildings from the square that then turns into the dock area, which goes left and right. If you go to the right, you go down towards Fenton's boat, which is about 60 or a bit more than that feet down. And to the left, only about 15 feet to the left, is where the shore breaker hit and is still being repaired.
When we get to the point, I point down to the guys, and then I sort of do a little sort of mimic like a circle entrance sort of thing, and I start taking off my armor.
It takes 10 minutes. You guys are seeing what he's doing.
Fine,
what
yeah.
What's the rest of the party doing in response?
Well, I don't
You
know.
were just
Leo's
gonna
the fuck
stand
I'm
there.
off mute.
I
No,
don't have
I say,
armor,
Leo,
so-
do you want someone to go down there? Because I can go down there
Yeah.
without any problems.
Oh
of
yeah, you can
breathing.
go down there without. Yeah.
I can go down there and look. What am I looking for? Am I looking for?
Yes.
You know. All right, not a problem. What am I looking for?
I'll just do like that circle thing, like a pipe, sort of.
You're guessing
I
Wanderers.
Conjurer's told you anyway, so.
I've got the gist of it. I think he's looking for a sewer entrance
Okay.
underwater.
What colour
All
are
right.
Leo's speedos?
You won't find out for another 8 minutes.
Oh,
I've
Just
stopped
standing
now,
there
Brad.
waiting, looking, just staring.
I've stopped, and then I cast light onto Sammy's hat,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
and I also cast guidance on him as well.
Okay, guidance is how long?
Just 1 minute.
1 minute, okay.
I could him in.
What's the plan then, Sammy?
I tie a bit of rope onto me and say, just keep hold of the other end of this. I'm assuming
50 feet.
Tie it up. Tie it. We'll get a bit more rope, bit of Fenton's
So
rope as
100.
well,
100 feet.
and the stolen rope.
And 150 feet.
There we go.
It looks like you're now coiling up a rope, the type of thing that the ships have, sitting next to them.
That's cool. And I'll
I'm
put
holding on to the end of it.
You're docking a Sammy.
And I'll drop it.
That sounds like a euphemism for going
Before he
to the
dumps in,
toilet.
I pull. Brad, as he's doing it, I pull the rope and go up.
Yeah. If I pull twice, pull me up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'm moving that out.
Yeah, I can swim, but you know. So I'll go in.
Okay, so you drop in. Big splash. It looks like you've dumped something to the weight of the car as just water disperses. As you literally land in the water, you just start to sink quite easily. Blah, 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 blah. It's the rope that's kind of hanging you up as such as they're kind of feeding it down. Is that what's stopping you from going faster?
It doesn't rust.
So you're on the kind of, they're at the edge of the docks where they kind of come out, and as they kind of go down the line, and then the small jet or the jetties kind of come out where the boats kind of park in between. So you've kind of got like jetty and then a big open space. You've kind of found a space next to a boat, which is a kind of at least on your side that you've kind of come to is about a 10-foot kind of gap away from the boat and the other jetty. You've jumped off there, and as I said, you've kind of gone underwater, and they're kind of letting the rope go. I'm guessing all of you are up top helping with the rope. Anyone not helping?
Yeah, no, I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've all,
yeah.
so you all got the rope. It isn't as heavy. You would imagine the water's doing an assistance, especially because in the first time you lifted him. Did you lift him? Yeah, you have to get him up. So you go down, Sammy, and as you're kind of going down, you're going down slowly, and it isn't till about as you kind of first hit the water and you start going under, you see that there's a lot of large kind of rocks that seem to be what the dock system is built upon, like the wooden kind of poles from the docks themselves that hold it up come down, and they seem to sit on top of almost a shelf of really large rocks, which then in front of you as you're going down, you're looking down below you and you can't see anything below you, just deep water. And the rocks just kind of are multiple very, very large rocks that go down. You get down to about 40 feet where you can see just a bit ahead of you and down. It kind of almost disappears in a bit of a recess kind of thing. And you kind of feel like that might be what you're looking for. Do you swim to
I head
that?
towards that recess. Sorry, I was eating, so I was putting myself off mute. Apologies. So yeah, I head towards the recess.
Okay, so you get to you swim forwards. It takes a bit of work, and as you kind of start nearing to it, you can see it is like what Leo was pointing out. It's a very round, about a 10-foot diameter, round, kind of grate with big, kind of metal bars. The metal bars themselves are at least like 2 inches thick, and there is a lot of them. There is no small gap through it. As you get fairly close to it, you can definitely feel there is a bit of water coming out of it at you.
Okay. But there doesn't appear to be a way through these bars then.
They look fairly well made. You're not sure what kind of metal, but it seems to be withstanding rust and stuff like that.
Stainless steel. Yeah, I'll do a double pull then, see if they can start pulling me up.
Okay.
Yep. Start
Yep,
putting him up.
start pulling him up.
I
Yeah,
pretend
it's
to,
easy
yeah.
enough. You manage to get him up, and when he gets to the crest of the water, that's when it feels a bit more difficult to pull him up, and you get him up, and he's back on the dockside with you.
So yes, there's definitely a an exit there, but it's all grated up. And the metal that is there is it's not rusting metal. It's fairly well. It's
Untarnished.
consistent. Yeah, it's untarnished for definite. So.
It looks like it's old. Does look like it's old, barnacles, stuff like that. But the metal itself doesn't look like it's degrading in quality.
Yeah.
Whatever the metal is, has been
whatever it is, it
good
looks fairly.
metal.
It looks in fairly good condition for its age, and certainly not something that I think is movable. Although I didn't try it, to be absolutely honest with you.
It looked fairly big and fairly weighty. You would imagine it weighs heavier than you do.
It looked well made, and it was definitely part of it. So.
Was there a keyhole or anything?
No, no keyhole, no lock.
So it's just metal bars going into the.
It's just metal bars to stuff. I assume to stop big fish or things from actually going up into it, rather than to stop anything coming out. So I don't think, although this is and the water was coming, there was a current being like coming from it, so it wasn't sort of going into it. There was definitely a water coming out of it.
Which way was it going, do you know?
Which way was it going, Brad?
Remembering looking in, it would have went kind of up. It would have went in kind of almost like a 90-degree kind of smooth bend up. And looking kind of up, you would have seen where it goes from there.
If we walk the way that the pipes going, maybe see if we can find a well on that route and see what that well's like.
Yeah.
See if we can get down.
Yeah, I can sort of.
Following you lot around, I'm so glad I've got this as an actual map. I don't have an actual map. I have a big map on here, but I'm so glad I actually have this map, because the way you're all wandering all over the place, I can actually see where you're going. If I didn't have this map, I'd be like, I have no idea where you are by now. You was up here, you was over here, you're down here, you're over here.
It's Leo's fault.
So
He's just storming off.
We're gonna follow the pipe overground, obviously, and we're gonna go to the first well that we think comes
Right, it seems to be a theme, but it's not a theme. It just happens to be. So as Sammy comes up and kind of explains to you, and he points off kind of direction, it was slightly towards your left. That slightly towards the left is about roughly in line with where the 20-foot opening of the in between the buildings are. And the actual jetty, the part you're on, is about 15 feet to that kind of entrance. And again, it is a fairly wide open area. So where that kind of is underneath you kind of comes up, it would come up underneath the wooden jetty part that is the larger opening before the 20 feet turns into stone towards the square. If that helps.
Do we start tying Belgarian up yet, Leo?
Yeah, I've already started. I'm busy this session. I'm busy.
Can't we wait till we get to the well first?
No.
This is the way.
Where do you want to go? Because the problem is the pipe comes up, and where you're standing now is kind of in the middle of this jetty or the dockside, which is this kind of wooden area that's kind of, as I said, it's about 15 feet wide all the way along through a lot of it before it narrows down to the kind of very end where you originally got off and went down to the cave area. But at the bit you're in, it's about 15 feet wide, and then it kind of goes in just about another 5-10 feet to where it then starts to open out with the 20-foot bit that walks off towards the square, and that bit starts to turn into a bricked area.
Is there like a main
But as
road
for where,
that has a sewer drainage system?
I would say that given that you're kind of now looking about, you do manage to see at the bottoms of buildings, you see small kind of little things at the very bottom on the floor, kind of small, almost grates, but they're not very big. They're only about the size of a brick, and you see
there
multiple of them
Is there a
around the
well
kind of.
in the town centre?
It's not the town centre; it's the square, and there's not a well in the
this
square itself. No, not in the square itself.
Hang on, X. Wait.
The jetty we're standing on, can we see through the
X here.
planks?
You can, but you know, but go by what the description was that the where the pipe goes into, it goes up, and then there's like a shelf or a cliff of rocks where the wooden decking is kind of sitting on top of. So it goes inside rock, and then on as it kind of goes up to where you guys are, it can't come straight up. It doesn't keep going up because as you look through the kind of small gaps in the thing, and you can see underneath. You can see what is them rocks that Sammy explained. That
Is my drawing accurate?
I've just got to go cat hunting. I'll be back in a minute. Dear.
Hunting.
That's what we need. We need a cat to find the rats. Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Fenton, that is a very good, accurate, although Sammy definitely didn't go in head first. Belgarian might, though.
That was Leo.
Why would I go in head first?
Leo Spartan Sammy in.
Yeah, that's it.
Leo on the price of chicken. Okay, so as I said, that is a very good description of what it is. And as I said, the pipe goes in. The pipe goes in at a kind of curve, but it doesn't go that far back. At most, about 10 feet back, as it kind of curves and goes upwards, and then it comes upwards to about roughly where you're standing. But as you look through the kind of slats of the dockside, the small little grooves in between it, you look through and you can just see that kind of rock shelf underneath where the docks themselves are built on top of. So it obviously doesn't go through.
Why don't we just split up, meet back at the Withening in an hour or so, and see if we can find a grate in the town?
Yeah.
What kind of grate? Like a drain?
Yeah, like a sewer type, something big enough for one of us to get into.
Could we send Lady to scout? Might be better.
It depends on what you think would be better.
At this point, I'm tempted to turn Lady into a bloody fish and get her to go swim through the grate.
Options are there. You've all got options.
I don't mind using Lady to scout.
Right, Leo's really into this. He's like really scratching his head about this. He's really into it. He's really involved.
As Does seem
So-
like a putting on his Sherlock hat.
Yeah,
Neil
definitely,
Holmes.
100%.
Magnifying
He's
glass.
he's invested now. That's it.
Hold on,
So
hold on a
he's
minute.
listening to what Fenton says.
I got the prop.
There
There we go.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elementary there, Watson.
he's listening to what Fenton says, and
I'm just
Oh
trying to think
dear.
if any of my spells would break the bloody grate under the water.
like
I doubt it.
Nah.
Leo's gonna go and look around for what Fenton says, but also a sort of door that goes into ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would see like an air raid shelter where
Yeah, I don't get.
it's
mean,
got
like a
back and forth.
seems
Yeah.
to
Oh,
seems to have a
I-
downward thing. As
Yeah.
you look around where you are, so this entrance that's like 20 foot wide, over on the left hand side, there does seem to be some different buildings, and then there are buildings that can carry down both sides of the dock side itself. The ones going down where the shore breaker hit, they seem to be the backs of houses. The ones up to the right, which goes up towards Fenton's boat, seems to be more wood and metal kind of construction, seem more like large kind of store kind of buildings.
is there any more tombs around?
Not down this side. This side seems very workman-y dockside.
Yeah, that's where I want to be, Brad. I want to be where all the workers are.
Workers
So,
all up.
like all the factories or all those sort of.
Yeah, down to the left is definitely more of your kind of large storage type buildings, sort of.
Yeah, that's
Stop.
where I want. I want to have a good old look around there, where all the workers are. Sort of the people that keep the town going, and I don't know, some sort of engineering, whatever they got going. That's what I
Okay, so
want.
Fenton, are you going to go off? Fenton, are you going to go off and do what you were saying? Do you want to do that yourself?
Yeah, I'll just say I'll go for a wander and I'll see you back in the Wyvern in about an hour.
Yeah,
Where
I'm
are
gonna
you off
go.
to? Where are people off to? I'm sorry, I was.
I said
They're-
if we all just split up and see if we can find like a drain or some kind of door or whatever that goes that seems to lead underground, like a storm drain or something big enough for one of us to go down.
I'm gonna
Leo,
go
can
to
you
where.
can you put light on my hat again? I'm gonna go. You know where we chased those rats and we went into that. I'm gonna go back in there. I'm gonna.
That's
go
where I was gonna go.
Proper look around in there.
I'm just gonna wander off.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna.
Yeah, I wander off. I wander off as well.
You just don't know what. Okay.
Yeah.
So Quandra, what are you doing? Because them two are going that way, one's going that way. Fenton and Quinn seem to be going different ways. What's your plan?
Actually gonna
You
go
can do
back
the
to
lady thing.
Not right this second. I'm
Okay.
curious. I'm gonna go back to the inn and I'm gonna ask if I can go down into their basement.
Okay.
See if
Yeah.
there's anything down there.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with you, Quandra, with what you're saying. They're fairly happy enough. They know you well enough. You've been here all week. They've seen the deeds you've done and stuff. One of the young kind of serving girls, she goes down with you, takes you kind of down the stairs. It's a fairly large underground kind of basement area. Lots of large kegs, lots of kind of stored dried meats and kind of salts and spices and all this sort of stuff. Very, very well stocked kind of storerooms downstairs. But there is no kind of further down. There's no. You kind of look around. I'm going to say that everyone's gone for about that hour, and you spend. Are you going to spend the whole hour essentially down there?
It all depends how long it would take me to look. Cause
It's
obviously I
fairly
saw-
big down there. The building itself is like a 50 by 80 foot across, and the basement itself is about that big as well.
Okay,
So it takes a while to fully go over
I'll
it.
spend the hour down there, and then once
Okay.
everybody comes back, if no one's discovered anything, then I'll use lady.
Okay, cool. So you kind of go around it, and you kind of go around quite extensively, looking behind bags, behind different walls and stuff. And there's no obvious kind of next, like there's no door that leads down. You look around on the floor, you can't find. There isn't even really any drainage or anything like that in there. You're expecting to see if there's any kind of grates in the floor that would go into the sewer system. Nothing. It seems to be a fairly contained kind of basement. So you pretty much don't seem to come up with anything. Next person I'm going to go to is Leo. Leo, you spend the whole hour going around attempting to talk to people who just look at you very strangely, and you spend most of the time trying to get someone to let you in, and everyone just kind of reacts to what on earth are you doing here, and you don't actually manage to get into anywhere. What you do notice is again those kind of about a brick-sized small kind of grates that you think may lead somewhere into this sort of system. You find multiple, probably at least 10, as you're kind of walking up here at the bottoms of these kind of storage kind of areas.
Is this the
But you
most?
don't.
Is this the most industrial area?
This seems to be the most industrial area in the sense that not industrial in terms of factories, but in terms of kind of you do see kind of boats pull like where boats have pulled in. There's like big crates of fish that seem to be carted off. I would say you get to kind of peek your head into some of them before you're kind of shooed out. They're largely looking inside. They're kind of just a large empty shell of a building with lots of crates stacked in them. You see kind of this one getting fish going in, which you kind of have an extra nose to see if you can pinch a fish, but it goes in too quick and you get ushered out. And eventually people are starting to kind of look at you funny, like as if you're just hanging around for the fish almost, but you don't really pick up anything that useful other than the fact that inside they seem to be kind of large open kind of shell of a building with what you would assume is a kind of fairly stone floor, like a fairly paved sort of floor, hard floor surface for workmen to be just chucking big heavy boxes and crates on, sort of thing. So, and your kind of initial look at everything, nothing really is that helpful.
Fair enough.
Next, I'm going to go on to Quinn. Quinn, you have a lovely walk around town. Just lost yourself in it.
Yeah, I got a little bit distracted, and you know.
Fenton, as you're kind of going around, you notice, first of all, kind of in that square, as you kind of first start to walk into the town area, on the bottom of the Wyvern Inn, there's at least 2 more of these kind of bricks. And as you look around, you keep seeing them. They're in multiple places, these small kind of bricks that look like a drainage sort of system. As you go around, though, there is nothing into the floor itself. There's no kind of manhole cover. There's no kind of downwards drain hole cover. Most of them seem to be on the bottom floor of the building, like generally dotted. In some places, about 15 feet across, roughly. You keep seeing these small little kind of grates. But you don't come across anything that seems to be that useful
That's
in terms of what you look
size.
for. Yeah, not that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then lastly, on 2, what was you doing, David? You were going to go Bulgarian. So that's all of you. Yeah, all of you. Bulgarian. So Bulgarian and Sammy, you're going down into the place where you originally was. And when you get down there, it looks fairly similar to what it was when you got down there, the kind of cave system and everything. What is your aims once you get down there? Going all the way through to the other part? Is there anything in this main first part? What did you want to do?
Yeah,
You've got an hour.
Do the first fight, and then we'll go down to where we actually beat the human rat.
Ratman, where we killed
Ratman.
Ratman. Because in that part I can't remember what we did, if we had a proper.
I don't think we had a proper search of it,
or if there was anywhere else to go that we could continue on.
Just reading my notes to see if there's anything in there.
And there you go.
You need to read Bradley's notes. Candy.
I will next week, do I?
I have them in many
well done,
places. I have them on this notebook. I have them on this surface, and I have them in here.
And my plan is also to roll high on my edible dice next to Brad's dice, and then eat them. Scale his dice.
What, and eat
Where
Bradley's
did you-
dice?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, get the wrong ones. Crunch.
I got
Go home with
intimidate
no
his
teeth.
dice.
So you two, you've got an hour. So if you want to have a quick walk around, figure out what you want to figure out, ask me what you want to ask me. You've got an hour. I'm going to keep that in mind with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And your time starts now.
So, good luck. Welcome to the Krypton Factor.
Okay, what I will do, hold on guys, wait there a minute. I'll do this because it kind of brings everyone into it in a sense, and I might as well because you'd only tell them anyway.
We can sit on David's screen.
Oh, you can see on David's screen. Okay, cool. I was
Yeah.
about to put the observer bat in there and put you all, but if you all want to watch David's screen, then that's exactly what I was about to do. Don't roughly that
Put
anyway.
the bat
so.
in there for me, mate, please.
Oh, because you're thingy. Well, I can move the bat straight in there for you. I was just going to then add everyone else to it, but I'll add that for you. Everyone else can watch David's screen.
Can I have Saber, please?
Yes. Saber got stuck at the front door and went, no, not coming in. There you go.
Thank you.
Stuart, you need to be brought in, don't you?
Yes, please.
There you go.
Right, this tunnel where I'm at, Is Saber small enough to go up there?
Yeah, but not in a graceful way. It kind of has to go down on all fours and kind of shuffle, kind of thing. The actual entrance itself, it's probably about a 2.5 foot kind of diameter. No, probably about a 3 foot diameter kind of thing. So 3 foot high, kind of pipe all the way around. And Saber can kind of fit his head in and kind of shimmy through it, but doesn't seem very happy with the idea of it.
I'll tell him just to go out there and have a look. Stop whinging.
Okay.
No,
You haven't got vision on him, have you?
no, can't see anything.
I could quite easily sit here and say, right, this is what roughly. You can't actually talk to him because you've not got a direct link in that sense, have you?
No, I need to get that sorted somehow.
Right.
I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it, Brad.
There you go. I've given you it.
Okay.
I'll say that as he goes in, for the most part, you can hear him clonking around. You get a sense of where he's going. He won't pick out any details, but you can get a general sense on where he's moving.
Lost him now.
Click on him. You should be able to see with him. You can see.
Yeah, but when I click off him, I lose him.
See what
I have to try and remember where he is.
Are you sure he has vision now? That's weird.
Yeah, have a look. If you look on what I'm sharing.
Yeah.
What I'm streaming, I've lost Sammy now completely. Yeah.
You've lost Sammy. I see. Yeah. So what you do to get him back is on the left-hand side, just click on the ruler and then click on a person, and that will bring it back to the neutral view. So just click on the left-hand side, the very left, one of the other things. Click on one of those and then click back on the top one, and it basically puts you back out of having anyone selected. I'm sure there's a shortcut somewhere, but I don't know it. But I often just click on that corner ruler and then back on the people. Click back on the people straight away, because otherwise you do that.
Right.
Yeah. So just click.
How do I get that off?
I'll delete them. Don't worry. So just click and then click straight back again, and all it does is it neutralifies you of the target as such.
All right.
So that's the easy way to get him again. So you can stay on Saber, move around, and then if you need to, flick like that.
Right. Let's make it a tunnel like what Saber's just gone into. That I was standing at.
Yeah, looks similar. Yeah, about a 3 foot kind of diameter.
This?
So that's
that looks very similar to the grate that Sammy described on the outside. It's about a 10-foot circular diameter, large, very thick, with the steel bars that come down.
I hope nothing happens to Saber, or I'm going to lose him, ain't I?
So can I not see through it?
You can see through it. Yeah, you kind of see. You as you look through, you can kind of see it's quite dark, and it's kind of a big. Inside is a big tunnel that is similar in size to the bars that you've got at the front. So it's a big 10-foot kind of grate, and then it kind of slightly narrows but goes into a large kind of tunnel that disappears off inside it. It looks like you could stand up in that tunnel if you were standing in the center of it, but this big grate thing's in the way.
Right.
So it's a big kind of tube, as it were.
To where the one that Sammy went down and had a look in the water.
Yeah.
Where could I work out where this would be to that?
Not so much. You kind of work out that as you kind of come in the caves, you're walking from the south, you're walking up north, and you walk a fair distance up north. Not that much of a difference. So it's only like 100, 200 feet or so in terms of them caves you was in. You get up to them and then it kind of pops into here. So you presume there's that much gap between you and the shore. So you're unsure what this pipe could link to in that sort of sense. You're not very great at the kind of sense of directions of where things would go like that. Especially being underground, it kind of slightly disorientates you. But you get a sense that must be in a similar direction of shore, but you're not quite sure. It could go off at a tangent and all that sort of stuff.
I'll ask Sam to come over.
Pardon me? Okay,
I
I'll
have
come
no
over.
idea where anybody is. Oh, there you go.
Would
I
he
have
have
no
an inkling?
You
Where are
kind
you,
of
mate?
used to have a good idea on.
You
some
see me
things like that.
on the left-hand side.
He's directly south of you. Directly south. He's
See
hiding.
my, there you go.
Yeah, look up here.
So you can see the large grate, and it looks very similar to the one you saw underwater outside,
Okay, yeah.
Sammy. You've also just walked away from one north as well, where you've just walked away from. There was another one north of you, very similar
Right.
looking to this one. Big grate again, Sammy. It's not overly rusted. This kind of entrance, kind of
Okay,
grate, and it seems again not tarnishing very much.
And again, there's no like opening or lock or anything.
No,
like
it seems to be the wall itself is rounded around kind of where the actual
Right.
grate sits into it, kind of thing.
Yeah, no worries. So and then we come round here.
Just in the off chance, try pushing it.
It's very sturdy. Doesn't move
Okay.
an inch. Doesn't move at all.
All the bars. Try and
As you go round, what? As in all the individual little bars, as
all
opposed
the
to going around the room.
individual bars.
All the individual little bars, you kind of test all of them, and all of them are just really solid.
Okay.
So we're going to do we'll test the same again. I'm looking at all of these ones here, Brad. You can see what I'm looking at.
So as you walk around each of them, Sammy, you notice that one or two of them seem to turn off in a direction as they go in. Again, same kind of thing. Big 10-foot kind of round tube almost that disappears off, and some of them disappear off and go around corners, and some of them disappear into like a T-junction, that sort of thing.
Can you work? Can I ask Sammy if he could? Can you, in your knowledge of all this sort of crap, can you sort of like, can he work out where they would sort of meet, if you know what I mean? Because you said that there's like a central junction.
Right. My thing
Okay,
is.
so
My thing
what I
is,
would say, this
no,
one here, Sammy,
Yeah.
this one here goes down and then disappears in the T-junction. Right in front of you. This one here seems to go down, but there seems to be an off-jutting bit that seems to join with what you assume is that T-junction.
Okay.
But it also continues down this way and continues about this way. This one over here and this one here, this one goes to a T-junction, and you seem to see as if they are connected in some way.
And
But this has a T-junction that disappears off north somewhere that you don't see another entrance for. Same as the one down the bottom here.
And
then going up to the top here, you can see the one you can see the one that disappears off north, goes around the corner, and then seems to disappear off in this direction. And then when you look through this one, it disappears straight up north, but also seems to have a sidewards off, which may link to this one. So some of them do seem to link with each other, but you get the sense that there are ways off of them. They don't just immediately link to themselves, sort of thing. There are jutting off paths through them kind of tunnels that disappear off somewhere.
Okay, so. So Sammy found something here, mate. A little cave.
Yeah. So in that kind of cave, without any real details, you get a sense on there is a small area there. It seems to open out almost, but as I said, I'm not going to give you any details because the dog can't tell you any details.
No, all right, fair enough.
But you get a sense that there is an open area, small open area.
Come back out.
You think you're too big, but you do think small humanoids could fit through there.
Small humanoids. Have we got any of those? So
I don't think you have.
I think we have.
We do, no.
I knew it should have been a little girl.
Everyone wanted to be tall, so you're all tall and no one can fit through the little pipe.
What about getting their familiars down here?
Well, you don't get them.
Condra.
So, one thing where you're coming up to here, Dave, I'm going to show you something as you go. Carrying up.
Yeah.
So, this bit when you get up to here, I'll move it for you. So it gets to here. This actually goes underneath all the way up to here.
Oh, and joins
It goes
up.
under where you was, yeah. So I'm going to move you back to there. So,
fine.
yeah, that carries on under.
Alright, that's cool. I'm just letting him to sort of see if he can map it out and
Yeah, no, that's
I've got to find some way of being able to talk to this dude. That's right.
He's not gonna be. He's not gonna be like a familiar though. He's still gonna be somewhat intelligence-wise of what he's got.
You probably would see him come out there, wouldn't you?
Right, Brad.
Mm.
Can he get into that tunnel there ahead?
Yes, he can. So if I drag you across.
Oh, right. It goes underneath that one. It don't go into the big
Yeah.
one. No.
No. But you do get to see the big one because I have to drag him through it.
Yeah.
Just drag you up and around and down and in.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that though. When you look through them bars, that's what you see through them bars. That kind of sort of thing.
Cool. All right. I think that's all the pipe crawling poor Saber can do. I don't think there was anything else for him to crawl in. Oh, there was that one up there. Let's have a look. See if that one leads anywhere interesting. So I want to I don't know. Can we investigate anything, Brad? Because that rat person came from somewhere, so that leads to.
There was four rat people.
Yeah. So,
that one there. Hold on. That one there.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do this time. No, not that. I'm gonna do this time. it effectively leads to here.
Okay.
You can't walk through that though. That's where it
Can't
kind of
walk through
narrows.
that one. Okay.
It will stop. It won't let you carry on. It will stop there. But I'm going to drag you back out into here. So that carries on and then kind of narrows at that end.
And I'm assuming that way goes back into that pipe.
It does lead back into that one, yeah.
All right.
So I would say you've probably mapped most of the bits you can walk around like that.
Yeah, I think I have. So.
But there are lots of pipes everywhere. So there's even pipes, as you can see inside here. There's extra pipes inside here that go places. There's definitely a lot of pipe work. And you can see on the floor below you that the water seems to be seeping out of those larger. The larger ones seem to have the majority of the water pouring out that then goes back into that kind of natural cave system that you've walked down to get here.
There's definitely. And I mean, we check all of these pipes, Brad. All these like.
Yeah, you go through and you check all the bars. All the bars are dirty. They're all none of the bars themselves want to move, and the thing feels really heavy.
Can any of them twist?
You kind of push on them and everything, and they just seem perfectly stationary, wet out.
I'm gonna spend 10 minutes.
They would be very heavy. You wouldn't want one to crush you.
Can we search around them?
Detect magic, Brad.
Okay. You can roll a search check, Keith, an investigation. Detect magic. You go around all of them with a detect magic, and you don't pick anything up. There's nothing magical about them or around them.
I think, mate. 9.
What? 9? No, you kind of go around, but you don't really kind of. You don't really catch anything as you're going around.
All right.
If anything, you start to get lost. You just walk around in circles and be like, "Huh? What's what?" Look the same.
I think I'm stoned. I mean, they've got quite an extensive sewer system.
Yeah. That's an understatement.
So as I said, you had up to an hour. You've kind of searched around a good bit. Is there anything else you want to do kind of before you're not leaving this bit as such within that hour? Or would you just want to spend the whole hour?
You know the bit just outside this, did we search all of that?
You had walked all around it before, yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
walked around the whole thing.
Cool.
And what you mean that their natural cave system?
Yeah.
Yeah, natural cave. There are loads of small kind of entrances that disappear off in different directions, but most of them are smaller than these pipes that Saber went through.
Okay.
There are numerous, and there is water pouring out of different ones of them. But as I said, it would take something small to be able to fit into them. What smaller than small out in a natural cave?
So we'd need some sort of little spider or something like that, really, wouldn't we?
Mm.
So it might
So-
be worth coming back down here with
Yeah, you could. You could, if you want. I can bring them in now. If you want to do that. If people want to do that.
Yeah. I think so.
So if
Yeah,
now
I
you go
think
back
so.
to Gavin, you want to get them to come back with you.
Yeah.
Is that what everyone else wants to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your little bring your familiars. There's a few things I'm sort of getting from Sabre that there's some areas there may be something worth looking into, but I don't know what. So
So anyone who wasn't here should be here and here. Have I got you? So everyone should be now in. I
I
believe.
cannot see.
Do you light a torch? You have a lantern.
I have a torch now. Yes, I do have a torch now.
You have a torch. Okay, you light a torch. Mark off one of your torches because you're probably going to use the whole lot of it while you're down here. There you go. Chris, if you're on your computer, this should load for you, I think. Because this is not all the house one. It was the house one we mostly have trouble with, so I'll be intrigued as to whether you can load in this one.
27%. Oh,
What am I to do with you, Chris?
I'm in the bin.
Brad,
Yes.
what's this weird shadow next to me?
It's a
It's
demon.
the piping system.
It's more of a kind of. It looks like more of a kind of bit of a leakage coming off of the pipe itself. It's not a. It looks more like the floor itself is just where it's kind of a bit mossy and that sort of stuff.
No, I mean, right, so directly above in the square above me, the shadow.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that?
it's the pipe. It's the pipe, Brad. It's the piping.
Yeah.
I could walk onto it.
Yeah, there you go.
That thingy done.
Oh,
That,
right,
the
Nah.
dog
yeah.
I think I did I think I made it a proper wall. It should be an invisible wall. Yeah.
It confused me because I sort of like walked over there and I had a big black bit. I was thinking, what? What can I see there? So I walked onto it and there's a bit of piping that you'd put up.
Clipped through the walls.
Oh, go quickly now. Why you can see. So, what do you guys want to do looking around here?
I'm not searching for anything, Brad. I'm just standing watch.
Is a birdie in?
Yeah, Sammy's got a. Oh, I say
Nah,
basically we need to send something small
Yeah.
into the piping
Would Lady fit through the bars?
that can see and relay
Oh.
what's in there.
Lady's quite big and would really kind of have to squeeze. Wouldn't be able to get out quick if she needed to, that sort of thing.
Right.
A bit of a
have a
squeeze. for
spider.
Lady.
a little spider would be absolutely wonderful.
I
Yeah,
put it
perfect.
on
There you go.
Guy's
Got
shoulder to
something
pull
with
around
invisible
him.
walls.
Mhm.
So what are you going to do then, Quinn? Where are you walking up to? So, did you see the areas that they were talking about?
Not quite.
So, on what you was watching on the different maps, they're here, here, and here.
The first one is where I am.
I'm gonna like stand against the wall
Yep.
and go into its like eyes and send him in.
Does have dim vision 30, doesn't it?
Oh, I have to bring up. I think so.
There you go. I think you have control of it. You can control it, can't you?
I can. You can't go in there currently.
Ah, I'll move you
As
through.
this is a wall.
There you go.
Oh,
Has he got dark vision?
He does, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you can start to move him now.
Right.
You walk through the big bars.
how cute he is.
No, not that way. Not that way.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know how you managed to walk through that bit. Not that way either. That one goes underneath. Stay in the big one. Big
Okay,
one for
sorry.
now.
I broke the game already. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you did there. I don't know. I'm sure that's supposed to have a thing across it. I don't know how you managed to walk through that. Oh no, there isn't one there.
He's
Oh,
an
weird.
ethereal spider. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's block that up. There you go.
What's down here?
That was weird.
Is this end here?
That disappears off
Okay.
somewhere. So you can either carry on that way. Remember, you've got 100 feet.
I just see pipe. Yeah. Oh yeah. I should count it. Maybe.
No, I'm
I
about
just
to do it
moved
for you.
around with him.
Okay. Oh wow.
So if you're kind of near them, basically if you're near it, you can pretty much, for most of what I've got for the map, as what I know, you'll be fine. You can pretty much, if you're near the grate where you're going, then he'll be able to move that way. Like,
Nice.
still be in communication. So that one kind of disappears off in that direction further. That carries on.
I just see pipe and it ends here.
Yeah, it does carry on. I've just stopped it there on purpose because I'm not going to make a massive map. That carries on down.
I see. Hey, long pipe. Can I get through this grate?
You
Is
can.
it-
All
Oh,
right, so I'm going to grab you and I'm going to chuck you in the middle of the room. So it makes you makes you within the 100 feet.
okay.
That's the bit Saber's already gone down them smaller pipes.
I
That's the big
see.
pipes.
Send me through.
Bloody wrong one.
Got back.
He's so cute. Look at him. I love it. It's just pipe. It's endless pipe.
So you can see that one hooks out of here as well.
Yeah, I've seen that's the one that goes back to the.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Endless pipe. Endless pipe. And then, does this just keep going?
Right.
Or
So,
where does this
so
go?
that one keeps going. So each time you get to them, they keep going. Roll a perception check for the spider for me.
First spider. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let me quickly check something at the same time.
Oh, do you see it?
Don't see it, no.
It's a natural 20.
No, it's not. Is it?
Natural 20. So how much is that?
It's a blurry mess.
It is.
How much was it?
20.
Down about 60 feet further down where this goes, you can see a slight light source.
I relay that. I don't know if there's anyone around
Okay,
me or
you're
not.
speaking.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you're
if there's anyone around
speaking.
me, but I say it.
Yeah, you're speaking.
Uh,
So Quinn, you start saying there's a pipe and there's a light about 60 feet down.
and then,
There's
okay.
a light.
Yeah, I'll come out of this one.
You,
And I got this one.
you.
More pipe. Where,
This one carries on up, and because you rolled so well, I'm going to give you it. This one's about 80 foot up. You can see another light source.
There's another light source! And down here.
And that's it. That's the
I think
60
that's it, yeah.
Relaying to where they are then, can he work out where it is? Silly question, but in the city.
Unlikely, because he's looking through. He's already disorientated or looking through the eyes. So yeah, he probably won't be able to distinguish that. But you are far enough down. You know you're probably anywhere between 20 to 60 feet down from what's above you.
We need
As
to
a
buy a
guess.
map. We need to buy a map. I feel like that would help us
Yep.
with everything we're doing.
Do the tunnels go down or up?
The tunnels, in terms of
Where the
these ones
spider
where you
went.
are at the moment, roughly are similar kind of levels. None of them directly go up or down. They're all roughly. There's probably some sort of slight incline in the sense that the water's running down back into this main area, but nothing obvious.
Yeah, and
Just
I,
enough
I,
code
I actually
on the
point to
front.
the exact ones where it was, where
So this one
it
here,
led off, and one over here.
one here.
Yeah, and these two, and they led to different places. It looked like.
Have a little
I'm just
tug
gonna
on the
sit
bars.
here and stroke my spider.
Really,
Good boy.
like really strong, heavy kind of bars. Like I said, they're the kind of thing you wouldn't want to fall on you, and they're definitely very weighty. What are you gonna do there?
Annoying. So are we on a? So you're saying we're 20 foot down?
You're somewhere as a guess. You don't know how far, but you assume anywhere between 20 and 60 feet down. You could be
Okay.
literally 5 feet down. You wouldn't really know.
Sure.
None of you are that good at being able to know, but you're assuming maybe 20 to 60 feet below the buildings that are above you, as a guess.
If I go out up to the buildings above us, in that vicinity of the town,
Mm.
can I sort of roughly make out where?
It would be quite a few buildings. This area that you're looking at would easily cover 8 to 15 buildings worth.
Wouldn't there be someone among us who has a keen enough mind who would know, directions to know where these could lead
Yeah,
off
I know how
to?
to do it. I know how to do it. But I need to go sleep.
It's
No, what I would do? Oh, I can't even say it, can I? I need to go sleep, guys. I need to go to bed. I'm tired.
no, I understand what you're trying to say. Brad, can I work it out?
That's what I was going for.
Not easily, and not to any exact building. It would be multiple buildings. Between the two lights, you'd be looking at a lot of different buildings.
Really?
You know you're down the cheaper end of town as well, which the buildings are
Could
smaller
it
and
be
there's
the
more.
house that the family went missing?
You don't think it's there. You think that's more north. That's somewhat over this side where you are, but it's
yeah.
not whereabouts where you are now. It's more north than that.
Where was the
Sleepy.
well? What about the well?
That's what I mean. The well and the house area. That's still a little bit hit from this. You're over in the right area, but it's a little bit off from this.
When you say north, what from where
North
we
is
are?
directly north is directly where you are now, which is towards the north of the town. The sea is at the south of the town.
Just says he's got to go in a minute.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to see what you're going to do as the last thing.
If I stood near this grate, how far would it be to the light?
You could get there. It'd be within 100 feet.
Could I do that?
Yeah. So you're going to send the spider off in that direction.
Yeah. I'll stand as close as I can. And I've lost him. Oh no, I got him. There you go.
Okay, so don't worry, we'll finish soon, guys. I know you're trying to get away. We're just eking it out for this, but there. Right, your spider kind of is creeping up. It's a bit slow to go, creeping up the pipe. There are little pipes and other pipes that lead off left and right as you start to go up this direction. It is almost about the extent of how far the spider can go before it disappears out your range. As it gets up to kind of where it starts to, there's only a faint kind of light source, and as it starts to get up to it, it starts to crest up to whereabouts it is, and it seems as if it's coming from a pipe that leads off towards the right. Do you kind of carry on creeping up a little bit further to see what?
Yeah, as far as I can go.
Okay, so as you kind of carry on creeping up a bit further, you start to get to a point where you're starting to look around the corner of this pipe, and as you're looking around the corner of this pipe, you start to see that it actually is a broken pipe, and it opens out into a small kind of chamber, and the light is coming out of that chamber, and you can hear the noise of some sort of rustling and kind of a noise of some creature-esque type things in that direction.
I relay this while I'm in Spider Eyes.
Yeah.
And can I go further, or am I at my limit?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm only not telling you to let you do it.
I'll stop.
Okay,
I
so
don't want to be seen.
okay,
I'm a
so you're
spider.
carrying on. Huh?
I'm a spider.
Right, you carry on, kind of up to the corner. You get there. As you get there, you can now start to see that where the pipe kind of has broken away and opens out, it opens out into what seems like a natural cave, but there is definitely light sources inside here coming out. And as the spider starts to get just around the corner and see very clearly into this area, the spider can then see up on the right hand side as it turns the corner and kind of looks up. There is a big lever on the wall, kind of on the pipe, built into the pipework itself. Bit odd, not the kind of thing you would have in a sewer in that kind of area. It kind of seems slightly different to the surroundings, as it were. And then over, as it kind of then turns back to look in, as you look in, you can see through the light, and you're kind of slightly scuttling forwards, and immediately you just see some of the big rats that were the ones that you fought. The ones that are armored and some of the smaller ones. You can see them. Some of them are sitting at a table playing cards, and there's some other ones laying down in some kind of furs and stuff over the back. And as you look around, you can see some boxes, some crates, some kind of weapons, like a weapons rack, that sort of stuff. And as you do, one of the ones who sees you, one of the one of the rats immediately see you and picks up a crossbow to shoot at the spider.
I might poof it away. Is there time?
It misses you. So yes, you can then poof it
I
away.
still instantly just poof it away. Yeah.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Anything I was supposed to do in between the sessions?
Tell us we're all level 4 and roll hit points.
You're on now level 2.
No, David was going to say it before I did.
No.
Okay, you're both level 2 then.
Well done, David.
It's such
And
a
that's mine. Then. So a couple of little things. Is everyone in? 1, 2, 3.
Not me.
Just
I'm coming.
So I did a couple of little token updates. People who wanted token updates.
Thank
A
you.
lot more. You should be able to see them on there now.
I realised how big Fenton's head was.
Oh no, I didn't do that.
I'm a bit late, girly. Don't fuck with me.
Oh, what? Oh, I see.
I don't need updates because I get it right the first time.
I did actually send Brad my token, the head token, and he took the other one instead.
Mm.
Are you blaming the DM? Yeah.
No, David.
I think he is.
David said, yeah. David, you're level 1 now. Don't criticise the DM.
There we go.
What the fuck keeps throwing David under the bus?
It's just David's turn, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I rolled a dice before I joined Discord to see who I was going to pick on.
Ah, that's it. Right, I see.
Okay. Tuck that chair in.
I've got a custom dice made with all your names on it.
Cool.
Don't worry, one of the sides is myself, so
Aren't all the sides yourself on that dice, Stuart?
yeah, yeah.
So I think what I'm gonna do. Obviously, there's times part of it's to do with how kind of free you are in terms of where you go. I'm not gonna bother with saying about. I'm just gonna make it a constant thing going forwards that there is potential that if you go into certain areas, then I may have to just kind of call the session. So if I call the session short, there's a good chance you've walked into somewhere where
He hasn't sorted it out yet.
where I wouldn't have done things for, because looking at what I was supposed to sort out before this one, I did do some of it, but it was just like there's no way I can get through all the avenues of where you could potentially go. So I kind of got some done, and as I said, I was already behind on it anyway. But I thought, well, I couldn't do enough anyway at this point. So, so yeah, that would kind of be the case going forwards. I just won't bother to say anymore. But basically, I'll just make sure that from now on, if there's an issue of where you go to somewhere, then that would be why I call it short. And hopefully, it won't be right when we start. It wouldn't be anyway, because at a point when you're about to do something, I'm fairly aware of what you're going to do. It's kind of when it goes after that and all that sort of stuff that then I don't know. You could go in any direction, kind of thing. You could go, yeah, let's stuff this. This is going to be farmers. I don't know.
I was just about to say, let's all go jump on a ship.
I know.
Rats.
Like this session, I know what you're about to do in this session. I could have planned for that. If I needed anything for that, I could have that. But if you then do something after that, I have no idea what that potentially could be. It could be many things. So what I'm saying is, rather than
you overestimate our fucking ability to be able to complete a mini dungeon in one session.
I have the sudden urge to open an inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Brad. It'll take us.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna.
It took 20 minutes.
It took fucking Chris 5 rounds to open a door, so.
I think it was 6 rounds.
A whole session.
It was 6 rounds to get it on. By the way, he walked away from it and come back and still went at it again. Couldn't just leave it. Walked away, just like, no, running back to the door. But yeah, like I said, if we end up in that situation, like I said, it shouldn't be a case where the game just starts and all of a sudden I've got to cut it short, because I should have had done whatever you were going to do or whatever you was doing at that time. But potentially you could do something, then the thing afterwards I can't really plan for. So it's that kind of thing. So rather than me keep saying it, that's just going to be, just think of that's the rule going forwards. If I have to cut it short, probably because I've not got enough. So, but that is part and parcel of giving you guys enough freedom to kind of go anywhere, do anything, sort of thing. So hopefully it won't become a problem. We'll just have to see. But it wouldn't happen very often, so that's the other thing to keep in mind. If I do have to do that.
I thought it was a DM's job to make stuff up on the fly and keep their players very happy.
Yes, technically I can do that, and that's how I can string certain things out. But the problem comes when it comes to maps. I can't make quick maps.
Is that what David said to it?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, sorry, that's what David just texted me to say. Also, the other thing he mentioned as a footnote is that if we manage to do that and you manage to cut it short, does that mean we've hit level 4?
He's trying.
He is, isn't
he? He's trying.
Oh, dear. No, all is good, Brad. You do your thing, mate.
So what I've done is we're still sitting on this map as such, just because I've turned it into daytime, cleaned it up, changed Levi's token to what it should be now, changed the other tokens of the different people that needed tokens changed. I think that was mostly what I needed to do on the in between for you guys in terms of what you requested and stuff. And then
I don't load up.
Huh?
And I don't load up.
Boy, stop it. Is it loaded up or not?
No. Who could share their screen?
Oh, fuck's sake, Chris. I have to keep editing you out because you take up so much time with your nonsense.
I'll share my
It won't matter too much. We'll be off this map soon anyway, and hopefully it'll go back to normal. Hopefully it was just some random bug you got with this map. I don't know for sure, but I can only hope.
And I got my little spider friend.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That looks smart. Oh, Tow's nice, Adam.
Pardon?
Sorry, did you not understand me? Tow is nice, Adam.
Yeah, thank
He's,
you.
he's speaking a different language though, Adam.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shall
come I haven't got a
enunciate
token
my
for Lindy?
words.
Well, considering you like to correct everyone else, Stuart, you should enunciate your words.
I can't
I'm
help
not being a
my
corrector. I'm merely just pointing out the obvious.
I can't help my accent, and I'm not going to fucking excuse it either.
It wasn't the accent. You missed words in that sentence.
No, I didn't.
Right,
Tau
I
is
feel
good.
left out now. I want a token for Lady.
How is good? That is not a sentence, Stu. If you did that in school, they would mark it with an F.
I thought you was cosplay as Grog, so I accept it.
I was saying it as Fenton.
Well done. I don't know. I didn't even think of that. He's playing in character. Okay, so last we was.
Hold on, what happened?
Well, what you need to do, Stu, right? If you edit the video, when you get to the end, you'll know.
What I'm going to do, David, is I'm going to edit this video and edit you out of all of it.
If you do that, Stu, it won't make sense at this point.
I'll just edit in his words as like Benny Hill music or something.
Copyright.
Oh dear.
You have to disable the comments for the video as well, because the truth will come out.
All right, anyway, I've got to go, so I'll catch you all later.
All right, speak
See you
to
later,
you
mate.
Later.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.